Good morning. Welcome in here on a Friday to Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and live on the Pillar Exterior stage. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. What's going on, man?
What's up?
Welcome back. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are things? Welcome back. Where have I what? Like what?
Well, you were gone a day.
Okay.
You know, we missed you.
Did you hang out without me or?
No, you know, good old Apostrophe was here.
Oh, that's right. I was not here yesterday.
I was like, what are you talking about? You weren't here yesterday.
Hey, listen, man. Life comes at you fast.
Man, I almost wasn't here yesterday. We had a whole thing.
It's all so far. It's all good.
Good.
Came back. Yeah,
that's what we like to hear.
No tumors. We're good.
That's good. You know who?
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, of course.
How was old Apostrophe?
He's good. Like he's
a lot of energy, isn't he?
You know, I appreciate that he's very professional.
His passion.
Yeah, and he's obviously done this forever, right? And so there's a sense of comfortability with
years,
him.
I would think.
At least, yeah. Well, and then he was news before that, so he's just
I don't see. I think news is different.
It's a totally different
because
deal.
there are lots of people that can do news that can't do radio.
Yeah, and vice versa, right? I mean, I couldn't do a news report to save my life. You put me.
I probably couldn't either.
You put me in front of.
There's the whole teleprompter thing,
right? Which I hear is an issue.
Yeah,
you can't go all Ron Burgundy on him there.
That's a good chance that may happen.
But no, Michael's good. I appreciate him filling in. And we got a lot of NFL draft talk yesterday.
I caught a lot of that on the way back from the hospital. He's very, very passionate.
He is. And him and I both love the draft. I know you do as well. I will say our guy that we talked to, Justin, yesterday, he was good. He did say something that got under my skin a little bit.
Uh-oh. What did he do?
Well, he was hating on my guy Penix.
Dude, Penix, and he answered the critics, didn't he?
Yeah, because he goes, I don't know how good of an athlete he is anymore. Penix just out there. You know, like how Usain Bolt used to run the 100 and then he'd like ease up and still run like a 9.7.
Yeah.
That's what Penix's 4.46 looked like yesterday.
Yeah, like he was chilling.
Yeah, like he never looked like he got it into high gear.
Hey, the funny thing about that is
4.46 at quarterback.
The only person that was more excited than me yesterday for Penix Pro Day going as well as it did was either Penix agent or Penix. I've been cramming this. Do you remember the night of the Michigan after the first playoff game? And like I said, he was cool. Like I thought his arguments were fairly well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going back and forth with this guy on social media, and he kept telling me like he basically was saying, "Yeah, he won't do that against Michigan." He's kind of the yeah but guy, right? And turns out he didn't play as well against Michigan, so he was kind of right. But his argument was, I felt like, was more skewed to because it was Michigan or because he maybe was a fan of Michigan versus his total body of work.
Yeah.
Right? That was when I was talking about, I could see this guy being the second or third quarterback. We were like, well, who would you put him behind? You remember that whole discussion?
I would take him after Caleb Williams. That's
so, boy, how about Caleb Williams clapback? He's an interesting cat, isn't he?
He is. But you can't deny the talent.
So I was like, yes, do the darn thing.
Yeah.
And I get it, right? And there's no pass rush. And he didn't really address what I think the main non-health knock is on him.
What's that?
His footwork with dirty pockets.
Yeah, with a muddy pocket.
Which,
how are you? I mean, you're not going to get that in a pro day anyway.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Aaron Rodgers wasn't Aaron Rodgers until you actually watched him play.
Yeah.
Right. That whole off balance and can get balls off and weird angles and stuff like that. Like, that's a weird comp.
Some of that's live action though. You don't.
Some of that's kind of what I think of though.
And I don't.
So I was pretty pumped, Ravi.
And I know that the people bring up the Michigan game. I thought the throws were in the exact same place they were, and the receivers either didn't make plays or the corners for Michigan made better plays.
I'm splitting hairs, and you're my boy, so I'm not gonna hold you to it. But his accuracy could have left a little to be desired, but he wasn't as bad as this. Not a lot. Well, not as bad as it's split. It's you know what I mean. It's like a throw here,
but if you look at it, he did miss one that would have been a touchdown for sure. I remember that.
Yeah,
one. And everyone was stunned by it, myself included. But There is
Talking about the one down the sideline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, if you look at the numbers versus if you look at the actual throws, it wasn't nearly as bad
I'm kind of with you
as people want to make it seem.
And remember, I'm one of those guys that's in love with Michigan secondary.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you have to give them a lot of credit. I
do, Ravi. I do.
I know you do. I just don't think you can look. I don't know. I can't look at anybody else, any other quarterback in the draft and be like, yeah, I definitely think they're better than.
So
besides Caleb Williams, I can't look at anybody else in the draft and be like, that guy's definitely better than Penix. If you're like, hey, I don't trust the medicals, okay, I can live with that. But if you're giving me football reasons why Penix isn't as good as Jaden Daniels or Drake May or Bo Nix, for God's sake.
Although Jaden Daniels was pretty effortless.
Yeah.
What'd I do?
Well, you moved your mic so you could take a drink, then you didn't move it back.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Well,
we just like to hear you.
I had some ice I wanted to swallow.
Well, just don't chew it. Just let it melt.
You definitely can tell the difference between the Himalayan and the iodized.
Yeah,
And I did it ahead of time.
A little salty water this time,
Yeah.
But no, I didn't come here to talk about quarterbacks, but my guy Penix ran a 4.46.
Quarterbacks.
Quarterback.
And you know what's funny is he kind of stopped scrambling as his career progressed.
And I don't know if that was because of the injuries. I don't know if it's because his offensive line got a lot better. I mean,
they sure did get whipped in that championship.
They sure did. But
man,
for the most part, his offensive line at Washington was dramatically better than his offensive line at Indiana.
Yeah, and
like that's
Michigan. They couldn't run the ball either.
Yeah, so like that Michigan was just better than they were.
Yep.
Like I don't know how you look at that game and they'll just come away with it. It's like, yeah, Michigan's just better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, better football team.
And so I don't know how much of that I put on Penix. There's
he's a quarterback. Isn't that what we do?
Well, you look at the Brady versus Mahomes Super Bowl, right? I don't know how you walk away from that being like hating on Mahomes. It's just, oh no, Tampa was a lot better in that game.
Yeah,
they were a lot better, and they kind of made Mahomes look goofy.
Your homie, my homie was running for his life.
He was running for his life. He was doing these weird sidearm shortstop
and it was kind of weird
throws.
too, because it wasn't just getting him to the ground. It was just the pressure.
Yeah, he was just constantly running for his life.
Yeah. By the way, I hope Shaquille Barrett has a bounce back here this year.
Yeah.
Kind of got paid. Yeah. I don't know why I said that except for just the locale. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do cheer for him.
Well, we got our guy Levante David running it back.
Levante, yeah. So got the hometown deal.
Levante?
And wants to. He was dead set on being a Buck.
I think he wants to finish it out with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, good for him, man. One of the more it's not underappreciated because people know he was great, but kind of just
he wasn't here long.
Well,
that's the problem.
You pit his fingerprints versus his tenure. It's a little disproportioned.
And especially
the fingerprints are all over that D.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But especially at least at Nebraska, the first half of his first year here, he was only okay as he figured things out. So
yeah,
you only had
and remember, he wasn't going to start right away.
He only had a year and a half of being really good at Nebraska, and so I think it feels like he was gone really fast.
Yeah. Shane Levante.
You guys going? There were some other things that didn't happen 15 years ago that we're going to talk about here on the show today. Specifically, the Sweet 16 got underway last night.
Did that happen?
It did.
Did the Sweet 16 happen?
Well, it started. It's not over yet. We got more games tonight. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Where you wanna hit me with where DB was right and where DB was wrong?
Yeah, let's do it. You were right about. You might have had a tough night last night. You were right about Illinois, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, you said that Iowa State might have a little hard time keeping up with them.
Although that game was a lot closer than it needed to be.
Yeah, I thought so.
Again,
I think there's a Brad Underwood there.
I don't know.
I don't trust it. I thought they could have won that. I thought they looked like they were 8 to 10 points better than Iowa State.
Let me ask you something. Did you watch a lot of Big Ten
over the course of the season? Yeah.
What do you think people's that are just now seeing Coleman Hawkins his act? What do you think their sentiment is watching Coleman Hawkins?
Super unlikable.
Oh my god!
Like really unlikable.
I just wondered.
Really talented.
He's uber talented,
but super unlikable.
What do you think he's talking about? Like 60% of the time?
I never know. I have no idea.
Does he want the foul call, or is he just shooting the breeze?
I think he's just one of those guys that
just likes to yap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I never know what it's about. I don't know if that's how he psychs himself up, sort of just keep talking, and that gets him in the right head. I don't know what it is. He's super unlikable, though.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because he's actually really good.
Yeah. You want to go where I was wrong the game before?
Which was that the Clemson game?
Yeah, Clemson just keeps winning. Apparently, they're going to be a basketball team in this tournament that they weren't the majority of the season.
Well, you get those. There's a lot of times.
It's unbelievable. Did you hear B. Edwards yesterday? Because I think he liked Clemson.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they almost ran him out of there. He said that. I was like, no, he said multiple.
Yeah,
on multiple occasions.
Times. Yeah, because he's been there like 11 years. He's been there a long time.
My guy was about to be outro.
Yeah, he's
done,
about to get
done and done.
About to get that buyout money.
As my friend David Knight would say, dot and data, done and done. Dot and data.
Yeah, Clemson is because
here they are in the Elite Eight.
And not just you. I think 90% of people had picked New Mexico in round one.
Yeah.
Vegas had New Mexico as an actual favorite in that game.
Yes, indeed.
And so it wasn't just you on Clemson. The entire college basketball world was wrong. I don't know if that makes you feel better or not.
No, it doesn't.
But you weren't on an island there.
Like Gilligan or Skipper.
Even though they lost, I do think you were right about North Carolina.
Oh, and I nailed. But I told you, right? It's a team that's capable of winning a national championship. That's true, right?
Which I think they were.
It's a really good basketball team,
but super high variance.
Right, and I just cannot trust
Hurrdat Davis
in close games.
Yeah,
I guess pretty specific, and it played out.
Reared its ugly head in the
the thing that drives me crazy about them.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even look like functional basketball down the stretch.
No,
it was like
all the way until about 5 minutes left.
4:56, if you're counting.
Yeah.
4:56.
I was pretty close. I said 5.
Yeah. 4:56.
And then it all falls apart.
I'm like,
they went from looking like clearly the better basketball team
you could run your offense any way you wanted to. Right? And then crunch time happened.
Now, RJ Davis going 4 for 20 doesn't help.
No, but
you still had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, it just was so frenetic. And can you say helter skelter? Is that bad?
I think you're okay.
Yeah, it was just helter skelter.
Yeah, it was. It was chaotic.
Yeah, it was. I mean, weird with his timeout shot selection. I'm like, oh, okay. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. It is so bad. But
if I'm reading this correctly and recalling correctly, they won one possession game the entire season.
Oh, that sounds about right.
75-72 against Miami.
And had a losing record in games, I think, of 5 points or less.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I mean, we'll just look at their losses.
I am, yeah. So lost to Nova, lost to Kentucky.
What was the Nova score?
83-81.
Okay.
Kentucky was 87-83.
Okay.
Georgia Tech was 74-73.
Okay.
Clemson was 80-76.
Uh-huh.
And Bama was 89-87.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That's pretty bad.
Okay.
Not great.
Wondered if we were trending.
Yeah, no, they won just a single one possession win the entire season. It's a tough way to operate.
And I'm telling you, it's not just that. It's that they don't look good. They don't look good doing it.
Yeah, they have total dissociative identity disorder.
It is.
As soon as it gets into crunch time.
So bad.
It's wild.
Yeah.
They went for literally I'm watching that game and I go, North Carolina should win this by 8 to 10. They were better.
They could get out to 8 to 10 points whenever
they seem to feel like
down,
it, right? And then it gets to the 5-minute mark, and you're like, oh, that's an entirely different basketball team.
Well, they outscored, not including the free throws. The 7-0 run that put them up 87-85 was a total debacle.
Yes.
Total debacle.
Well, I'm trying to find the play-by-play right now.
And here's the thing: 7-2, maybe 7-1.
I think it was 7-2.
So, and 5 points doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to close out, it's a ton.
Yeah,
because you're not scoring for 4 minutes.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I I couldn't help but watch, and I've seen Nelson all year, right?
Grant
Yeah,
for
Bama.
Bama. Yeah.
And I couldn't help but think what we have been talking about the last 2 weeks, because it just so happens to be the Summit League and getting guys, right? And being not wanting to be a farm system versus being a farm system. How many of these guys are going to come out of the Summit and just be a nightmare?
A lot of them.
It appears to be that way.
A lot of them.
So, is the Summit League better than we think?
Maybe.
It's unbelievable.
You know, I have this theory that
The Summit League has to be better than we think.
I've had this theory for a while.
Okay.
That the Summit League.
What did they say last night? North Dakota.
Yeah.
Stand up. Sounds like, wow.
And by the way, 5
yes.
points does seem like a lot. I mean, that was Arizona's heel last night too. They were down 5-7 the entire night.
And again, with the rights and wrongs, where I was spot on, the West was the most difficult because it was the most volatile. Because I said, what did I tell you, Ravi, and these kind listeners out in there?
Got the weakest one.
No, the weakest top 4.
Yes. Yeah.
I said it has the weakest 1, probably the weakest 2, probably the weakest 3, and arguably the weakest 4.
You're not wrong.
All in the West. So I was like, best wishes picking this. But I went with Carolina because I felt like that was the only team of the bunch
that could win a national
that was
title.
built to win a national title.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you have a 4 and a 6, Alabama Clemson in the regional final.
So I don't know how if we're going to eat it together.
What do you mean?
Is crow a dish you like warm or cold? Because we may both be eating it. You, the hater of the SEC.
How about them apples?
Me, the guy that swore Clemson couldn't play dead.
We
both could be in big trouble.
I was not a hater on the
SEC. The Elite Eight looms.
I made the argument. Where did you get that I'm an SEC hater?
So when we had okay, full disclosure.
Yeah.
How many times did you text me? Is the SEC? Do we know?
Are we sure the SEC is good?
Yeah.
To be fair,
do we need to rewind a month ago with you and Matty D talking about conference? Dude, that's the thing about me. I'm not going to forget.
To be fair, I text you that about almost every conference, tongue in cheek.
SEC is not, though, because I know how you feel about them.
Well, no. So what I've said all along is I don't know if the offenses are that good or if they just can't play defense. I genuinely don't know. I'm not being sarcastic.
That's not preposterous.
I'm not being facetious when I say it. Like, I don't know.
Didn't you want that about football and defense until they got quarterback play?
I did. That's and everybody's like, oh no, the defenses are great. I was like, I get they have good players on defense. They also don't have any functional quarterbacks. None at all.
So it was like,
and so I'm sitting there and I go, I don't know if the SEC couldn't just not play defense at all, or if all the offenses were just such wagons that it didn't matter. And I think it's probably a little from column A and a little from column B. I will say,
oh man, Sean just cut me to the core.
Oh no, what did he do?
No, he's right though. He on X or Twitter or whatever.
We're calling it.
Oh, he hit me late last night. Did I like that tweet? I don't know. Can't wait to listen to DB in the morning say he's 2 for 2. So apparently at some point last night, my man said, can't wait to listen to DB in the morning say, what were you thinking about a dozen times? And he's almost spot on because it wasn't thinking, it was doing.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then he hit me this morning. He's like, I've never seen a 1 seed with that terrible a shot selection in the tournament. And it cuts me to the core because that's what I couldn't get over.
It's true, because it's true.
And what was I so happy about moving on from Caleb Love? I was like,
shot selection.
Hopefully.
Which we saw it bite Arizona yesterday.
Wasn't that something?
Ooh, that was the full Caleb Love experience.
That was the full Caleb Love experience yesterday.
It really was.
And I felt bad for my man RP because he loves his teams, right? And it's weird. He has reasons for each, but he's an FSU guy, football. Arizona basketball. He spent time,
Yeah,
right,
in these different places. Yeah.
And he just was, and this was kind of early, and he was like not happy that Caleb Love was on his team. And I even told, like, I'm not one of these Richard heads that likes to like rub it in when other people's teams lose, but I got a guy like that. I had to cut him off. He's out of the family. But I only had one guy text me, just one, and he gave me an emoji with sunglasses.
What is it?
Are we like 11?
I don't even. So I
told RP. I'm like, hey man,
I'm not about that.
I can't stand. Hey, anybody that knows me knows I'm not either. Like,
I hate that.
That is so. If you're like, what are some weird pet peeves? And I have several, right? That may be at the top because it's not like.
What do you get out of that?
It's not that bad.
No,
but it annoys me
annoying.
To no end.
Super annoying.
Like, I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Whatever the hell it is.
But I told him, I said, hey, hang in there. I don't like Caleb Love, but he's a fan. So I'm like, hey man, hang in there. He
never know the second half.
He has a tendency to put one
good
or
half
the
together.
other half together, and you still have the second half. And he just wasn't buying it. I was just trying to encourage him.
And he didn't get the second half together yesterday.
Dude, talk about bad shot selection.
That's his MO.
They almost lost it on the broadcast, and it wasn't just him.
No.
It's like, I don't get it. You don't need it right now. I don't get it. You don't need it right now.
I don't know about Tommy Lloyd.
Well, he's trending in the wrong direction, given his level of. You want to go back to the Benedict Mathern team?
Yeah.
Like, he's had some squads.
I think he's really good at acquiring talent. I don't know how good of a basketball coach he is.
Sean is a true.
Coming up next, we'll set up the lineup. We'll let you know what's coming up on the show today. Lots of college basketball talk. Of course, we're going to get into Nebraska spring football. There's a little open period yesterday. All that and more here on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Should have got a few more touches, Baycott.
Yeah. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Radio, live on AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Still mad.
On the Pillar Exterior stage.
I wasn't when I came in, but then you gassed me back up over break.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Like, who does that?
Yeah,
You're just gonna put the key in and gas your boy up. You could have talked me off the ledge, but no, you doubled down.
That's because I agree with you. I'm not gonna try and tamp things down when I think the thing you're mad about is also BS. I don't understand. Here's the context here. DB got a text from we're gonna put friend in quotes here because it's a real D-bag move about after the Carolina game last night. Sunglasses, smiley face emoji.
Oh, I was mad. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like, what do you get out of talking crap when your friend's team loses? What is the benefit to you?
Here's the thing, though. Like, if you were to say to me, you won't, because you sound like you're worse than me.
Oh, I get so mad.
If Shane came over to me and he said, "Man, Damon, this not even that big of a deal, man. Move on." Like, I know it isn't.
Oh, come on, Shane.
Yeah, but that's why they're called pet peeves. Like,
but it is just one of those things.
It gets under my skin so bad.
That gets under my skin.
Like, I want to fight somebody over it when it happens.
And I know it's not like
in the grand scheme, it is not a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like he put a dent in my car.
If it happens to me, and then if you do it to my face, there's a chance you're catching hands.
I also want someone, Sam, that's going to go fight.
You cut people off. Yeah, me too. I want what Coach Matt.
Nothing will make me block you faster on Twitter.
So was that what happened when this was last year? I can't remember what was going on, and you go, hey, tonight's a good night to block it. Tonight was a good night to block everyone.
Yeah, so I think it was after Creighton lost to San Diego State. And I had a bunch of Nebraska fans coming in, Nebraska basketball fans coming into my mentions and DMs and whatever, talking crap about Creighton losing because they had beaten Creighton last year, famously. And
you can't help yourself, can you?
Well, they did. And listen, and they talked about it all year because last year they did not have much else to talk about. And listen,
let's stay right here.
When I say that I want Nebraska basketball to be good, I mean it. When I say I root for them to win every game except for when they play Creighton, I mean it. But when I say no one pushes me over the edge faster than a Nebraska basketball fan talking out of pocket, I mean that as well. Because there's some of them that are really cool. I'm very good friends with a lot of people that are diehard Nebraska basketball fans, and I want them to win for those people. I want them to win for Kent. I want them to win for my guy Cole. I want them to win for those people. But if Creighton's in the Elite Eight and loses on a dubious call at best, and I'm like, man, it was so close to a Final Four, and that's kind of on processing my feelings or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you still lost to Nebraska. It's like, hey, when's the last game you played, guys? Like, that's just automatic block button. Like, you're getting it in a hurry. And if you text me, there is a good chance I'm not speaking to you anymore.
Don't you see that all the time with both fan bases back and forth, though?
Yeah.
You probably do.
Especially on Twitter.
But it's not something I do, or at least I try not to. I have no interest. And I certainly
can you imagine?
I may do it in general, like to a general tweet to the world. I'm not adding someone or texting someone and being like, hey, how about them Tar Heels? Like, I'm so cognizant of it. I didn't even text you last night.
After the Here We Go?
Well, so that
was the last one.
The Here We Go was like things were starting to pick up again.
Mm-hmm.
But after the game was over, I didn't even text you last night because I didn't want it to come off wrong, because I'm so aware of how, like, when you're in that mindset, you just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, even me being like, hey, man, I'm sorry about that, doesn't add anything to the situation.
But I will say I'm not one of those guys that's like, well, I'd rather have gotten beat by X amount. Right? Like,
no, I just don't want to get beat.
I just don't want to. I
don't want to lose.
And I think the thing that drives me the most crazy is when it's in your control, because winning is so hard.
Yes. That when you have it in your control.
When it's in your control, that's like when it's the most.
It's so frustrating to lose.
Yeah,
that.
because sports are cruel, right? It's and they're super humbling. So it's like when you have the opportunity and you can't close it out, it's like, ooh.
Because you can do everything right and still not be in control. You can do everything right and still not have the opportunity to control your own fate. That's why it's so frustrating, because if you do everything right and you happen to be in a position, or if you don't even do everything right and you happen to be in a position to still control your destiny and have a chance to do what you want to do, to then not take advantage of it is maddening.
And it's just so weird.
It's ridiculous.
So weird. But you know what I was thinking of last night? All these things went through my mind about winning and losing, and it's really, really hard. And I went back to last week watching, this is so random, but it's similar, NCAA Nationals. And it was 0-0, and Ridge Lovett had the opportunity in the third period to start up or down. And it strange decision, and it ended up costing him. It was 1-0. And I'm like, and I was two of my buddies, Coach Jernigan and one of my buddies were in Casey, and I'm like, I wonder if that's gonna be like pain or regret, because
regret's worse.
It's not even close.
Way worse. Because pain you can deal with, you can
manage
process, you can understand.
And over time,
regret is the thing that sticks with you for years.
It taps you on the shoulder,
and every once in a while it just comes back up. It's like, hey, still here.
Keep you up at night, like, I just like, it's so.
Like, for instance, if your guys' teams had lost to Florida State in 93 and then not did what you did in 94 and 95, it wouldn't be the pain that lives with you. It'd be the regret.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. So then I would start looking more at what we did wrong down the stretch.
100%. You're like, well, if we had done this and if we had done that.
We don't get this penalty.
You start second-guessing everything.
The kick goes, you start.
And then you start blaming.
Yeah, that, like, I would probably. So it's
if the ref had called that fumble.
Yeah, it's cool now, right?
Yeah.
Now I look like I can be mature,
yeah, because you got two natties after that. It makes it a lot easier.
Tio taught us. Winning helped.
Yeah, it does.
Right? Because over time, like,
why I'm not mad?
If that wouldn't have happened. So do you know what I'm still mad at? And this is petty, because it cost them and they had a good year. I'm still mad Jesse James didn't get credit for that catch against the Patriots because they didn't get another opportunity at it.
Sorry
right?
about
There's
So those are the kinds of things that like can stick with you.
There's a reason I don't think about the 03 Red Sox anymore. I don't think about Aaron Boone anymore, right? Because 04 happened, 07 happened, 13 happened, 18 happened. Like winning heals those things, but especially in college because you don't get the same opportunities to run it back with the same guys.
It's just it is really, I don't know, man. Sports, it is just so. I've been on both ends of it. Right?
Sure, yeah, but it's the regret. I think that I don't know that people put it in those terms very often because people are like, leave it all on the field, no regrets, whatever. It's the regret that gets you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the pain of losing. Most competitors can deal with the pain of losing if they feel like they did everything they could.
Like, why wouldn't Arizona? Like, why wouldn't Balo touch the ball more?
I don't know.
Stuff like that.
Because Clemson, I texted you this. Clemson was fronting him.
Oh, I know.
On every possession down the stretch.
I know.
And it was literally just a very
and they wouldn't pressure the ball.
They weren't pressuring it was a super easy pass.
So those post entries were easy.
And the help was late every time because they were trying to stay out on shooters. And they did it twice in a row. And then they're like, let's jack up some more threes.
Yeah. And then
what are you doing?
So was Connecticut going to be the only game that you foresee being the way that it went? Because these games today are going to be, I think, pretty, not to quote the show, but pretty nip and tuck.
Yeah,
did you ever watch Nip Tuck? It's kind of disturbing.
I didn't.
FX.
I'm aware of it, but I didn't watch it.
Don't go back. It's not a little.
I'm really interested in Purdue Gonzaga. I think that's going to be interesting. Obviously, Connecticut or obviously.
What's the line in Purdue Gonzaga? 6, right, or 6.5?
I think it was 5.5 last I saw. I'll check. Right. Yeah, it's 5.5.
So the biggest one today is 6, or is there a bigger one?
I think that's right.
What's Houston and Duke?
Houston and Dookie is something we're going to have to get to when we get back as we wrap up
under the gun?
Our number one. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back with more Hurrdat Sports Radio. Wrapping up hour number one here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590 ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And we're live from Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill on the Pillar Exterior Stage. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. You're DB.
Oh yeah,
because I'm not allowed to say your full name, last name.
I would don't act. I'm not like.
No, you are a little bit. Every time every time I do it, you give me a nasty look. Every time.
Like first name, last name.
Yeah,
Damon's fine.
No, but when I do both, you get.
I just don't know.
You feel some kind of way about it.
I don't know why that's necessary.
Well, because I say my first name, last name every time.
L2. Toby said, "Welcome to Friday Feels."
All
right, then, Toby.
Coming up on the show today at 8 a.m., we got Matt DeMarinis from White and Blue Review. He's out in Detroit.
Will he go with the Detroit-style pizza?
Which one is the Detroit style? Is that like the big pan?
Yeah.
It's like,
square?
Yeah, it's not for me. It's too much crust.
Well, I didn't say what would Ravi eat. I said, will Matt go with the Detroit-style pizza?
We can ask him at 8 a.m.
What, you're a spokesperson now?
Yeah.
You guys never agree, so what difference does it make?
It smells delicious.
It is kind of weird. Like, we're pretty close, but we don't agree on almost anything. We both like basketball. That's the closest we come to agreeing on anything.
That's totally me and Tyler.
Mosman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's disagreeable to everybody, though. That
That's
seems like
it's and the funny thing is, like, the more, like, if you just the more you talk to him, he's not that bad.
No, I like him.
He's
I like him a lot, but it seems like he just is sort of contrarian just for the sake of it.
Yeah, a lot of sarcasm.
That's okay though. Coming up at 9, another guy that's sometimes contrarian just for the sake of it, Mike Sautter.
Yeah.
Likes to.
Is he coming here? Because I don't know about that.
I don't know if he is or not. Text him. We'll see what happens.
Nah,
I don't know.
It just feels like one of those mornings where he could be a little much.
Coming up at 9:45.
Well, that's a great question, Ravi Lulla.
We'll wrap up the show with Matt Vrzal, as we always do, to end our week. Let's hop into a little Nebraska football here.
The quote machines.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Go Big Red.
Matt.
Wait, who was that?
Who was that?
That was MRI.
No problem at all. Go Big Red.
Oh, there we go. That's our guy.
I think that was when I was in Minnesota.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
because I remember that's how the audio sounded.
A little not quite as crisp.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Go Big Red.
That's when my man Eric Francis told me my lighting sucked in my hotel room. I could be better. He's basically was like, man, you know how much I've taught you? Like, be better. Fix the lighting. Get from in front of the big window. Be better, DB.
Did he?
And I was like, hey, can we go make some sandwiches?
Did he send you an emoji with sunglasses?
See?
You're gonna fight Shane, aren't you?
No, because I don't believe on. I don't. No, I would not.
You're not choosing violence this morning.
Not
on Shane.
Not on people that aren't as capable.
You don't pick on somebody your own size.
Although anything could happen.
Anything
with arms wide open.
Anything could happen. Wide open.
But he was smiling so much this morning because he got to vape in nice weather.
Yeah, it's a little nicer this morning.
He smiled and he said, "Yeah, a little better morning for that." He said, "Yeah."
Why the is Shane walking in there?
I have no idea.
They had a little bit nicer weather for the media section of the open practice yesterday down in Nebraska.
Yeah, look crisp
in Lincoln. A lot of under 1 minute videos of Dylan Raiola throwing the football that people are losing their minds about, myself included.
Yeah, so I think at some point, the balance of that will be very, very interesting, even amongst the staff.
In what? Okay, elaborate, please.
Well, I mean,
the balance of the
because
attention,
they'll
or
have to. There's like this point where staff will understand, like, okay, it is what it is, right? I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Highly touted recruit. I get the intrigue. But much like I talk about with being a gatekeeper for the sport,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not supposed to. Was that Joel that told me I'm not supposed to?
Yeah, Joel told you don't do that.
I think they'll
need to
internally. Sometimes you're like, hey man, it's about the team. It's gonna be we're OOU, you know. But you have to let that play out because this is kind of like the natural progression of what's going to happen in the media.
So let me ask this: how much does the way the media consumes what's going on with the team affect the dynamics of the team? Because
it depends on the team.
Because let's give an example, right? Let's say, and I don't know, but let's say Dylan is a great teammate.
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't feed into any of this, doesn't ask for any of this. I think part of your issue that you had with Casey is that some of the antics kind of leaned into the media attention, right?
Yeah.
Right. So far, we haven't seen that from Dylan.
And you won't.
Dylan just seems to try to go do his business, go work, try and be better.
You won't.
Supports his teammates.
He will not encourage you.
Goes out to different events, but us as media are still going to seek him out.
And that's okay. That's like I said, that's part of it.
So let's say in that scenario, how much does that affect the team internally? Because it's not Dylan's fault.
I don't think this particular case, I don't think at all.
Okay.
But I do think
now, is that because of Dylan? Is that because of the situation, or is it because of rule?
It takes both. That's a great point. It takes the person that's getting all the accolades. A lot of it is based on how they handle it and what happens behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And then obviously the leadership. I don't think Casey, the storylines that came with their team, I don't think the team really minded.
I don't either.
I don't. I think it changed the problem I have with that is it changed the media coverage.
It did.
Once it got outside the Big Ten.
Yeah, it got to a certain point where,
and that's what I was talking about. It's not the individual.
Right.
It just it changed the dynamics of what the team was about. And again, like I said, and I've said before about various things that I'm particular about, it doesn't make me right. It probably just makes me weird. I'm a big
print the shirts.
That's just what I gravitate towards.
Yeah, your perception of the situation is important to you.
And like I just know how easily it can get away from you. Like you have to work really hard and your culture has to be really strong
to withstand stuff like
this. Right? You could go back to like really good high school teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's always about this guy. I mean, Frankie and Chucky had to have like a unique understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky got a lot of the headlines. Frankie was still going for 18 a night. Right?
Yeah.
William Kyle was still rim running.
And they weren't going to win the way they did without the other two guys.
Right.
Right.
So, Jason Green, Miller North.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hunter. Saint,
kind of
even
underappreciated,
Jaden.
had to wait kind of his
Yeah.
turn. Still really good, really
Yep.
important. So you have to be able to.
And then won another state title after all those guys were gone.
Yeah, you have to. Last year, what's that? Right, like. Gonna hear a lot about a lot of guys, but you can't get everybody.
A lot of Anthony Rizak, a lot of Caleb Benning,
So
a lot of Christian Jones.
Like if you're Bo Ryan,
but
even Christian probably didn't get the attention he could have.
Yeah.
Or should have.
Yeah.
You know.
But it was a lot of Rizaks, a lot of Caleb. But you had Bo Ryan, you had Eckhart, you had a bunch.
JQ. We had. I mean,
you had
just
Hurtado,
Jordan Hurst,
your running back.
Oh yeah, James.
That's
a good example.
Really good player. Really, really important to what you did.
That's probably the best example because
it didn't get a lot of attention.
Well, he changed the way we could play offense because we could run the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
It didn't have to be QB run game.
You guys handed the ball off to James a lot.
So what I'm
a lot.
So my point in saying that is, it's not just about having dudes. Like you have to be able to withstand what happens if a game or two goes and X guy doesn't get the ball, or X guy doesn't get his rushing yards, or X guy doesn't get his shots off, right? So there's going to come some times where players will be made available to the press, and the culture in your team will define how people handle it when they take the podium, right? Because there's this certain level of understanding, like some guys just get the headlines.
Let me ask you this. I know we talk about guys fulfilling their roles a lot in terms of on the field play. How important is it for guys to fulfill their roles in terms of, like, some guys deal with the media better than others. Some guys deal with being the center of attention better than others. Like, how important is that part?
It was purposeful that Banks was the first guy they rolled out.
Yeah. You know, like how much does that matter in the sense of, hey, you have to play your role. Some guys' role is
my line, right?
Be really good and not say a word.
You know my line, right?
What's that?
Sometimes you have to be a good follower.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be a leader.
Well, what did I say last week? If you're a leader without followers, you're just a guy on a walk.
And good teams have good followers.
Yeah.
If you have good leadership. So that'll reveal itself.
Yeah.
You know, but I think early on out of the gates, especially with this team with so many questions, right, in the backfield, you know, he said, "Hey, it's a big year for him. This is a big spring for him." He didn't say that
on accident,
casually.
No,
right? Or, you know, what he said about Nash.
You
know, not wanting to take any days off. Those things are intentional because whatever it is, you want that to be a part of, right?
Yeah.
And I was cool with just about everything except for
a couple things.
Yeah. I'm I'm honest. The Bellevue West thing bugged me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, fudge, I know that offense. Jiminy Christmas. Nah, actually,
you're not kidding.
Isn't it weird though? Because I know what he was. I know what that's about, right? Yeah. You support coaches.
Support coaches.
You want high school. You want high school relationships. You want to build confidence. But I'm not. I swallowed my tongue. I'm like, you're good.
I think we're gonna hear a lot more about Daniel Kalen than people anticipate.
Just to offset, but
just
we're smart.
To balance.
That's scary. You gotta be careful with that because you can't feed us what we think we already know.
You can't force feed it, but he's gonna talk about him more than you think he will.
Well, maybe DK may ball out though.
He might. Maybe he's better than we think he is. I don't know.
He may ball out.
Matt DeMarinis coming up next on Hurrdat Sports Radio. Kicking off hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And we're live on the Pillar Exterior stage where we are brought to you by the Omaha Supernovas. Supernovas got a great win last night, 3-1 against the Grand Rapids Rise. They're back in action tomorrow on Saturday. Give Shane a call, 888-638-4876, and you can win a 4-pack of tickets to that game tomorrow night against the Vegas Thrill. And if you don't get through, go to supernovas.com to get tickets, to look at the schedule, buy some merch as well. First person to call Shane, 888-638-4876, wins a 4-pack of tickets to the Omaha Supernovas. I know somebody that will not be attending, not because he doesn't want to, but because he's in Detroit right now.
He can come to the championship because Omaha was just named the host city.
That's right.
How about that?
Omaha.
Let's go.
Champions. That's what we do. Matt DeMarinis from White and Blue Review. What's going on, buddy?
Hold up a minute. I'm on the phone. Do I not count? I'm a caller.
I mean, listen, if you're going to be here, I don't think you're going to be here tomorrow.
Well, I'm just saying if you're handing away free stuff and I'm right here.
You got to be present to win. You got to be, you're in Detroit. You're a little busy. You got other stuff going on.
You two
all
are
these rules.
I'm hoping that you're here. I'm hoping you're in Detroit through Sunday at least.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, not at least, just through Sunday. I don't want you to get stuck in Detroit.
I actually like Detroit.
They made a lot of renovations downtown, man. What do you think?
Matty DeMarinis, big Detroit guy.
I'm a bigger Detroit guy than I thought I would be. Everybody was telling me that, oh yeah, you're gonna hate it there. I'm like, okay, I guess. I've never been. So,
they have
there in city. I like it.
If you went there probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they're probably sharing yours. You'd probably share their sentiment. But they've done
some work.
They've made a lot of renovations downtown. Have some cool restaurants, and they're trying.
Yeah, no, it's a cool place. Like it doesn't feel all that different from Omaha. Man, you got baseball. You got a baseball stadium and a football stadium. It's very big. You got some churches around here. It looks pretty nice. Like I think the vibe. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm
gonna get your theory first before I get Ravi's because he's been chomping at the bit.
So you gotta ask him about the pizza first.
Oh, have you tried any Detroit pizza, Matt?
I mean, I haven't seen any Detroit pizza other than Little Caesars, but I'm there was a couple.
Little Caesars is the GOAT. Don't hate.
Well, there's so much Little Caesars around here. It's crazy.
They're doing on my TikTok, I get all these silly food review people, and they're all doing those little things that look like those baked cheese pies.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's not my style.
Not your jam?
No.
I haven't eaten Little Caesars since high school, and back in high school I had some help wanting Little Caesars, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, no, I haven't tried it yet. There's a couple pizza joints around the stadium or around the arena that I was gonna try, but they were closed at like 3:00. So they for late night. So,
jeez, night owl. What the? Hey, I won't even ask because I was up too, so I'm not even gonna make fun of you. But so Matty, Ravi has this theory. I'm having him sit on it, and because I'm looking at. How you guys have this thing where you say, oh, do we know that such and such is a good conference? Do we know that such and such is a good conference? So apparently, like if you want to really have impact for your team, you go and get some of the best players out of the Summit, and they just kind of like supplement your rosters because that appears to kind of be a thing with what's happening in the Summit League. But I asked Ravi, I said, is the Summit League better than I think it is? And immediately I had a couple of texters tell me no, and I still waiting for some solid answers. Ravi says he has a theory.
I have a theory. Why
do you think that the tops or the creme de la creme are making such a smooth transition?
Well, I think you're referring to Grant Nelson, and I don't.
Well, there's several.
Yeah, but I mean that you're the most traumatized. By
yeah.
Wow. He is most traumatized by Grant Nelson. That's accurate.
Yeah.
It's because I want a mustache like that. That's all. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just can't grow facial hair like that.
Well, I can grow a mustache. If you want to see me, I can grow one like that. If you want to see that. You might regret that right away.
I don't think anybody.
And I say this on the heels of William Kyle III and Fiddler and some of these guys that are on the move. Mayo,
Baylor.
Yeah, well, that one's
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Not bad.
Like what's going on, Matty? How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a combination of a lot of things, honestly. Like some of them were obviously missed coming out of high school. I think in Baylor's case for sure. Grant Nelson's got a unique skill set for his size, but I mean, he wasn't great this year for Alabama.
Well, he's pretty good though.
He was pretty good, but last night was that was his best game by far. And yeah, William Kyle, I think, is going to be a stud next year wherever he goes. I think you can see
me too
a lot a lot of the transferable things there that could help pretty much any single team in any single conference win games at a high level. The motor, the athleticism, the skills, like he's going to be impactful next year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Frankie's going to be good. I'm not sure what, where he slots. I guess it depends on the position, where he goes and how he fits in there. Because I do think there are some things where he might struggle, but he's a bucket and a half for sure. So I don't know why the Summit League itself, I guess, doesn't have one of these teams that pops through and makes a run, but then at the same time has all these dudes that can transfer up and help other teams make runs. I was thinking about that last night with Nelson. Like, dang, there's some studs in the Summit League. Why haven't one of these teams
Yeah, Pop. What's your theory, Ravi?
So my theory is most of the time the Summit League teams are recruiting from areas that generally do not get the same type of
Recruiting eyeballs?
national recruiting eyeballs that other places do. So like you said with Baylor, that's a guy that just got missed, I think. I mean, he's 6'7" with a crazy skill set. And I don't even know that it's always a bad thing, because I think some of these guys are better off having gone this path and gotten way more reps than they would have having gone to bigger schools. But I think a lot of it is, who's going up to Devil's Lake, North Dakota to find Grant Nelson? You know what I mean? Like, you have this big guy with an interesting skill set and the local people know about him, but I don't know that you're getting a lot of national eyeballs on Devil's Lake, North Dakota.
Yeah, maybe. I think with Huddle and AAU and everything, you should be able to see these dudes.
You should, but people are lazier than you give them credit for.
Well, then that's the theory. Then say they're lazy, not that they get missed.
Well, how else do you get missed? By people not seeing you, right? I mean,
well, you're talking about visibility versus actually doing the work. They're visible,
but they're less visible than, like, if you're in a place like North Dakota or you're out in Aurora, Nebraska, it is harder to be visible at some of these AAU places, because maybe you find an AAU team that likes you and maybe you're willing to travel, but maybe you're not. Like, maybe you don't have the capability of going from Devil's Lake. I don't even know what the best AAU team around that area would be, but it's probably not close, and it's probably not the caliber of, some of the places that we have around here that you have in other more populated parts of the country. Like, I do think there is an accessibility issue.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, there's so much film available now that you don't even have to go to those places to see these dudes. So you should be able to identify them.
No, but if you don't have like a high shoe circuit team in your area that's easily accessible, a lot of the coaches don't look at further down those AAU lists.
Yeah. I mean, I think the truth of the matter is that with the way that players have more agency now, I think coaches can, especially at high major levels, like, that's the thing about the Summit League and its dichotomy with, bringing players up and helping them, helping these elite teams make deep runs, is that I don't even think I would consider the Summit League as one of the best mid-majors. So, like, this talent that's going all over the place, like, why aren't the top mid-majors at least going after these dudes in the first place? And
now that's a bigger miss. Like, I don't know why. Like, I think Summit League is probably closer to a low major than mid-major even. So I don't know why the A-10s, the Mountain Wests, the Missouri Valleys, I don't know where you slot them, but I don't know why those teams aren't, like, because those are the teams that are missing on these guys more so than your Creighton, Nebraska, like Big Ten, Big East teams, I think.
Yeah. Now, my theory is that I think the teams that are the haves, essentially, the ones that are in that tier, are kind of, using the transfer portal to do its work for them, waiting to see.
Yeah, it makes you lazy. Makes you lazy.
Well, it's not lazy. It's not. Instead of taking a risk on a guy that you aren't sure is going to translate out of high school, in your conference, you just kind of wait to see how they translate to the college game in the first place, and then go after them in the portal, as opposed to doing it out of high school.
So where are we starting tonight with the scout, Matty? Is it keeping? I know the easy answer is having Connect have to work extra hard, but let me go a little before that to get the two-man game started. How do these guys keep Ziegler from getting to his spots on the floor to initiate the offense?
Bro, I love you, Damon, because I swear you read my notebooks.
I just watch them a lot. I don't know. I'm glad you. I like that. We're connected.
You're
Like,
Dalton
Ziegler's
connected?
Yeah, not Dalton. Ziegler's number one for me. I think he's number one for me. When you look at the way he can facilitate, how quick he is.
He's strong.
He can shoot it. He can score. Like, he's not just some, like, D and pass guy, you know what I'm saying? And defensively, he's so disruptive. I mean, he's quick off his feet, so you think you're open, then you're not. And then all of a sudden you think he's just hounding you, and you got to make a pass, and then he's in the passing lane. Like, he's the dude for me that I think can change this game. So I don't know how Creighton avoids falling into his traps defensively and, you know, turning the ball over and letting Tennessee get run out. And at the same token, I'm not, you know, it's going to be a challenge for them to kind of bottle him up, keep him in front, stop him from making plays for everybody else, because I think Tennessee's heard all week about, you know, how bad their offense has been or whatever lately. And, you know, they might come out looking pretty sharp to prove a lot of doubters wrong, I think, just based on the way they're talking. So, and they've got dudes who have been streaky. You know, they've got guys who have gone on heaters and can knock down shots. So Ziegler is able to get downhill, and he, you know, makes smart decisions by not shooting over call center and not falling into that trap that Creighton's going to lay for him. You know, I could see him having a humongous impact on this game, more so than even their SEC Player of the Year, first team All-American, and Dalton Connect. Like, I think he's ahead of the snake in this matchup for me.
So, Matty, you're bumming me out a little bit. What can Creighton do good? Come on.
Well, a lot of things.
Well, you're bumming me out. I need you to say them out loud.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Hey, believe me, there was no therapy session for me this morning. I can tell you that much. Go,
Damon want to hear it. He wants something.
Okay, sometimes you just gotta fight it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jonah's age is 6'11", 240, so Kalkbrenner has a couple inches and like 30 to 40 pounds on him. So, you know, just from a physicality standpoint, you think maybe there's something there. But age is tough, man. He blocks shots. He crashes the offensive glass. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. I think Baylor and Trey, you know, might be able to get off, depending on if Ziegler has to guard like Ashworth. That makes life maybe a little bit easier on Trey and Baylor. If it's not one of those two, then I think Ashworth has to step up and, you know, do what he does in terms of, you know, moving constantly, breaking free from his defender, getting open looks, being an outlet for, you know, Trey and Baylor to kind of get in the paint and spray it out to him and things like that. So, yeah, Creighton has a lot of options to win this game. I think they have more ways to win this game than Tennessee does. I'm just trying to introduce Tennessee to you because you might not be totally familiar with.
I'm going to give you an X factor because it's not about his points. You know, it's right around 7 a game. Because I think you're going to have to find ways to take advantage of him defensively, and don't let him hit the big shot or two on you offensively. I think Tennessee's X factor is Vescovy. Yeah.
He's struggling lately. I wonder if he's going to break out of it.
He has been. He's waiting, but I'm telling you, Matty, he's capable. Like not super. Sure. He's a guy that I think for them, if they can get him going, that would probably spell trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you that he's capable. I just think he's really banged up right now, and he's 2 for his last 16 from 3. So not only is he kind of feeling it physically, but he's probably feeling it from a confidence standpoint. So, you know, there's some factors there that would kind of go against the, you know, breakout game, but definitely capable. I mean, Josiah Jordan James is the same way. Jordan Gainey, like all those guys have had games where, again, they just, you know, they go off and make a difference, you know. So if Tennessee can get 2 of those 3 going along with, you know, Adu and Ziegler and Connect doing their thing, then it's going to be a dogfight. If those guys
Jordan James can shoot you into and out of a lot of positions.
100%.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. He's brave, but he's capable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matty, if you had to choose locking down Ziegler or locking down Connect, which one are you taking?
Well,
Kentucky just beat Tennessee by letting Connect go bonkers. They kept Ziegler in check.
I think locking down is probably the I don't know.
Making them inefficient. Let's call it that.
Yeah, like I think the more impact Ziegler has in this game, the better Tennessee's chances of winning are. So
you'd
don't
rather
turn the ball
let
over.
Connect cook.
Yeah, because I think Connect's gonna shoot no matter what. He's gonna get shots up. So then it's all about making them as difficult as possible. That's the challenge.
Right.
Don't let him get easy ones off the move because he's really good off the move.
Man,
He's not necessarily the ball in his hands and get out of my way type of guy. He's a guy who's moving a lot. So you have to make sure you always know where he is. You have to be communicating because sometimes you're going to get blasted on the screen and he's going to be open. So you got to make sure your guy is there to help you. You can't give him great looks and let him get into a good rhythm because then you're not shutting that off. But Ziegler, I think, is the guy that can make everything go on both ends of the floor. So if you minimize the impact that he has defensively and with his playmaking and with his scoring, if you just make that an average game for him, I think you have really good chances of surviving regardless of what Connect does unless he goes for 40 plus. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think the more challenging part is Ziegler because of the ways he impacts the game. Connect the plan to stop or limit Connect is probably simpler than it is for Ziegler.
That's Matt DeMarinis from the White and Blue Review. Matty, we appreciate your time as always, and let's just plan to talk next week when you're on your way to Phoenix. How's that sound?
I mean, I certainly would like it. Pittsburgh and Detroit were cold, so I'm down for it.
Need a little warm weather.
It's such a long wait till tonight, Matty. And they've
I'll
kind of
go
been
back
on that. They've kind of been on that night game clock schedule, but waiting is miserable.
No, all of us we were at Harry's Detroit last night watching games. We're like, yeah, we're all sleeping until 4 p.m. That's not happening.
You're just gonna go home. You're gonna go take a nap after this interview.
Heck, 100%.
Maddie, we
All right,
appreciate
Maddie.
you. We'll talk to you later. Have fun.
Later, boys.
That's our guy Matt DeMarinis from the White and Blue Review. Good stuff there as all. Yeah, I hate the late tip, and it's not just because so last night I wasn't a huge fan because I'm trying to I'm up till midnight, 12:30, whatever it is, and then you got a short turnaround of the morning show. And listen, we have cool jobs, so I'm not going to complain about that. But I don't just want the anxiety of waiting for Creighton to play all day.
Oh, you're something else.
What do you mean?
Sorry, can you turn it off right away after the game? Like if there's a late game for Creighton and it gets over at midnight on a Tuesday night, or you I'm just gonna go to bed and just go to bed?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's called Xanax.
You should not take that more than a certain amount of consecutive days. Not that I'm,
Listen, it's
advocating for your health.
Doctor
but
prescribed. I'll do it.
should only give you a 10-day prescription. That's it.
And I think that's the worst part of it. Like if there's a Raider game on Monday Night Football, and
Not that I know anything about Xanax. I mean,
it takes me an hour just to wind down afterwards. I mean,
yeah. What time was it for me? Probably, I don't know, about 3:10 last night.
That's early or late, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
No, I don't like the wait. I don't like the waiting around.
Well, I'm just looking at this Harry's menu.
Yeah.
This looks fantastic.
What is Harry's?
It's a sports bar in Detroit.
Is it?
It's right on the corner. Yeah. Cool little building built on the corner.
I haven't been to Detroit since 2005.
This looks pretty amazing.
I think
Yeah.
I think I was in Detroit in the heart of it being like Detroit.
Yeah, I remember one time. Was it Kugler I was talking to? It was whenever the Super Bowl was there with Bettis.
Oh yeah. So was it 2006?
And he was kind of joking how they only plowed like a quarter of the city. Snowplow.
Listen, but
He's like you reach this magical point in the street and there was snow over here and clean over here. I was like, well, they've had some administrative issues. People took some money and kind of stole from the city, and
yeah,
they've had some iffy leadership.
Listen,
but the economic development in downtown Detroit is significantly better than it has been.
They're trying.
Yeah,
they're trying, which I appreciate. You gotta
appreciate you.
I appreciate you. No, you gotta give it a go there. I don't know that I'm gonna book any vacations there anytime soon, but
We're gonna be all right.
I think it's probably a little better place.
You stay out there with the bougie folks in Auburn Hills or somewhere.
Yeah, maybe I'll go check out Matt Stafford's mansion that hasn't sold yet.
How in the
Well, you're selling to like 0.001%.
See, that's what I don't
worth.
understand. Did we have this conversation, or was I talking to somebody else?
I don't know. What's the conversation?
I don't understand what these athletes are doing, building like $20 million mansions that they can't sell to anyone else.
Well, you have to probably stay there.
No, but I mean, like, okay, if you're not gonna, I don't think Matt Stafford's gonna make his permanent home in Detroit after he retires.
Did you see the place that like? It's weird. I mean, you're right.
Like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
I understand wanting to have a nice place, right? I get it, but you can't price yourself so far out of the market. Like, Patrick Mahomes is gonna have to live in Kansas City forever with the place that he built.
Well, I think Nelly had to eat his mansion, didn't he? Nobody ever ended up moving in there.
Right, like Michael Jordan's mansion in Chicago is still for sale. It's been for sale for like 15 years because nobody can buy it.
Who does the upkeep? Anybody?
I don't know. He probably has to pay somebody to keep that place. He probably has to pay security so people don't break in. Like, I don't understand.
Well, that's part of it, though. I mean, you have to have
Well, who's squatting in the mansion? I mean, come on.
I
You have to-
100% would squat in Michael Jordan.
you have to with
It's
everybody
not even plausible.
got like the 23 gates and stuff.
with
No, I'm
every-
not saying squatting, but people like break in and mess with stuff.
but
Like, he
that's
probably has to have security.
that's why you got to have security. You got to have a big yard. You got to have a big fence. You got to have. I mean, you got to have a big
Prince's estate
place.
had security.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, how do you not think about it in the moment? Being like, yeah, I'm never going to, unless I want to live here forever. Like, you get drafted by LA or you get drafted by something like your hometown team or whatever. And you're like, hey, I'm going to stay here probably forever. Even if I get traded, I'm coming back. Right.
But isn't it part of it though too? Like, and obviously I've never been in the locker room, but like when you get those when you get those contracts, because we had our guy from the defensive end guy up in Minnesota. What's his name? That used to be with Buffalo.
Harrison Phillips.
Yeah, we had him on the air like 4 or 5 years ago, and we were talking about this exact same thing, but it came to cars, and he was just driving a regular vehicle, and he had to get a different vehicle because everybody in the locker room was giving him crap about it, and it's probably the same way with houses.
Yeah. You know what's easier to get rid of than a house? A car. You know what you can do with a car?
Selfish.
Lease it.
Yeah.
Lease it. Then you just take it back when you don't want it anymore.
I'm just saying they're probably in there going, my house is bigger than yours.
So
I got more rooms than you got. I've got a gym. I've got this. I've got,
Is this a problem you run into a lot, Shane? Is you can't sell your $1 million apartment? Like, what's going on here?
Wow, that was a little harsh. Shane, I wouldn't sit for that if I were you.
I mean, like, what are we doing here? Go rent a nice place downtown next to the stadium and quit building $30 million mansions nobody can buy.
Wow.
It's not that hard. That's why everybody goes broke.
Ravi here for chastising.
We're halfway through the show here on AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at the Pillar Exterior stage at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. That was our fearless leader, Matt Vrzal, talking about the new NFL kickoff rule.
Well, that and the competition squads.
Yeah.
You like that?
He is that's part of the reason I want to play pickleball with him.
I told you this from day one.
Yes.
I mean,
They got a pickle.
he's the type of guy you'd have to do it every day.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you want to sign up for,
Yeah.
that's cool. The Terrence Crawford, like guys like that want to just compete at every little thing.
Well, because I want to.
Listen,
Yeah.
look at who you're talking to. I mean, I make competitive games out of keeping doors open. And
I'll say
closed,
you're the
right?
guy that makes competition out of arbitrary decisions that previous you already made.
It just. I found out
Hot kettle.
Yeah,
Hey,
I found
we're
out
both black.
I found out a couple of years ago. Me too. I found out a couple of years ago. It's called gamification.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I call it sociopath. No. No, because
It is hard to turn off.
that's where it becomes like an issue. Right?
It is very hard to turn off.
No, the reason I say that though is A, it'd be a cool story, but B, I kind of want to see it happen. Like I want to see the switch.
So what would you be? Would you be a rattlesnake, an old knight, or
What are you talking about?
The 3 names that he gives for the competitive squads. They're all the old.
Oh, the Bug Eaters.
Yeah.
The Golden Knight.
Yeah.
Was the
Golden Knights. Yeah.
I'm a Golden Knights guy. I think it sounds cool.
I think I want to be a bug eater.
You gonna eat some crickets? Good protein.
Yeah, I like snakes, but I don't like rattlesnakes.
That's a very specific
I like
distinction.
No, I like constrictors.
Okay, you like choking the life out of.
Slowly. You hear bones break, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely not a sociopath.
I'm just. I didn't mean it like that's. Yeah, that probably didn't sound great, but there's just something about snatching souls that I like. The art of the hunt, like.
Do I need to like scoot further away from you, or
no? But
it's why you like sharks and orcas and whatever. And,
it's why I have a thing for
and serial killers.
Yes, but I don't like the guys and gals. I don't like the gun users. It's too easy.
Okay. I was talking about pickleball. I don't know.
Do you want me to play the roll cut on the 3 teams?
Yeah. Let's
just to relax things a little bit.
Play anything else, Shane?
We do a lot of competitive things. So we just, I think we're gonna put a video out about it at some point. We're just trying some new things to make it competitive and fun. So we put together three teams, like literally teams. Like we have an offense and defense called the Bug Eaters. We have an offense and a defense called the Old Gold Knights. We have an offense and a defense called what? Rattlesnake Boys. And they each have their own song. The injured guys are like the GMs. They have coaches, and like today was a 3rd down derby. They're competing against each other. What we found with our guys is I was making fun of them out there. Like, oh, if I told you had 36 reps of 3rd down, guys would be like, oh, my legs. I say, hey guys, we're going to compete. And they're like, run it back, do it again. Like these guys love competition. They grew up in an era of, playing Madden and playing Mario Kart, and they just love to compete. So I think what it does for us is it makes different players have to go against different people. It's not all we're doing, but it's one part of what we're doing. It's giving all 3 quarterbacks a chance to really captain their own team and move your team. And you have a lot of unique things to it, all different types of situational things, but just trying to really buy into what our kids do. Our young men do well. They love to compete. So we're trying to make it into a spring league.
I think it's cute how he tries to convince us they have 3 quarterbacks.
Would you stop? I thought you would go with the Mario Kart.
I actually was.
People still play Mario Kart?
So I don't know if they still do. I will say there was never a greater chance for violence in my college dorm room.
Are you serious?
Then I swear to you, not from me, really.
You're too old for that, aren't you? Or is it like that and I just missed that?
No, it's like that. It's like that. Like it is not uncommon that people will, like break controllers
over Mario Kart.
Yes, I think they.
Yeah, the more you know.
Broke a coffee table at one point. I don't think we ever broke a TV, but the amount of vitriol that is caused by Mario Kart will end friendships.
It
is the closest.
I'm gonna have to ask around. I didn't know that was a thing.
It is the maybe it is.
I thought he was messing with me.
No, maybe it's just for certain age ranges.
And
my age range is definitely in the sweet spot for Mario Kart, but until we became adults and some of us got a little goofy on our ideas, it was the closest thing to ending friendships that ever happened. Was Mario Kart.
It's unbelievable.
It really is. Like in retrospect, it's the dumbest thing in the world. I probably understood that real time also. And I don't think I was as bad as some of the other guys.
It's a race game, right? Like what is Mario Kart?
Like racing, not like race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you go around different obstacles and stuff?
Not there's obstacles that you're just on a track and you do.
It's like go-karting.
Here's the problem. Yeah, it's like go-karting. That's Mario Kart.
Okay.
The problem is there's these kind of loopholes and stuff, and you can sort of cheat a little bit. And sometimes people will be like, hey, no shortcuts this time. We're doing the track normal. And some people will shortcut anyway. And then you want to fight them or like, because they don't play by the agreed upon rules, or I don't know, you've got the different shells that you shoot your opponents with.
Mm-hmm.
And man, if you get there's one specific shell that goes directly after the leader, and if you get hit with a blue leader shell and you're about to win that race, people lose their minds because you can hold on to them until like the opportune time. It gets contentious.
Have you seen in the TikTok store, the old game package?
Yeah, I kind of want one.
Me too.
Like they're pretty cool.
But I have Tecmo Bowl.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you have like an old school Nintendo?
Yeah. I have Contra. Like I probably have.
Did you have double dribble basketball?
18 game. I don't have double dribble though.
Oh, so I had it doesn't work anymore, but I had an original NES and I loved playing double dribble basketball. So that was my jam.
And I can't remember this because this was about 4 years ago when I got it, and I got it extra cheap. And I was looking for double dribble, and at that time, it was so expensive it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah, I just happened to get it with the system that I got here, or that I got at the time. But yeah, it's one of those things that's super hard to find. We got Chris on the line here. I'm taking this call because it says "Go Jays" on it. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, you know what? This is a big day.
It's a big day.
It's a huge day, right?
Huge day. Come on, man. This is Omaha, baby. Come on.
So, Chris, what are you gonna do until 9 o'clock?
South. Hey, you know what? It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like go Blue Jays. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
Wow.
It's gonna be like that. No, back to the line, it was like, shoot. That's what people say when they saw me, man. So that's what people gonna say when they know me, shoot.
What's happening?
It's the Blue Jays, baby.
Thanks, Chris.
What just happened?
That was the call of the day right there.
What just happened?
Chris may have just been getting off work and stopped at an establishment. Is he going to make it till 9?
No, it doesn't sound like it. Wyatt, hang on the line there. We'll try to give the phone lines another try after this. Wow, go Jays. I don't know. I don't really know. I learned my lesson for just taking random phone calls because they say go Jays on them. Chris, we appreciate the call. Wyatt, hang on there. We will get to you.
That's what you get.
In just a second here. That's what you get. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. You get some Hurrdat Sports Radio coming up next. I'll be honest. I don't know what he was saying.
He's excited.
I'm excited.
There's probably a 100% chance he's going to take a nap before the game.
He's going to have to, man. Otherwise, he's not going to make it. It's Hurrdat Sports Radio. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We're on
Omaha, baby.
We're on AM 590 ESPN Omaha. What ESPN? What, Shane?
Omaha, baby.
Thank you, ESPN Tri-Cities. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Pillar Exterior stage here at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and we're brought to you by our friends at the Team Jack Foundation. Go to teamjackfoundation.org. Give directly there. Find out what events are coming up. Other ways you can get involved and see the projects that they're involved with. It's a simple goal, but it's not easy to accomplish. That's why they need your help. They're trying to find better treatments for kids fighting brain cancer and one day a cure, but they need help to get there. They've raised over $12 million in counting for projects with Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Memorial Sloan Kettering, Columbia University, and University of Nebraska Med Center right here at home. You can be a part of what they're doing and help find better treatments and one day a cure for kids fighting brain cancer. teamjackfoundation.org. That was a unique phone call that we had there.
Yeah, very much so.
I appreciate the enthusiasm.
Do you think that they should start those games earlier so we don't have to wait?
Yes. Yeah, I would. I would appreciate that.
Like
I would appreciate it if I didn't have to wait until
maybe 4:45.
Yeah, and I know what I didn't understand last night.
Double dip games.
What I didn't understand last night, especially, was the latest game was tipping on the East Coast. So they're not even doing it in a way that makes sense geographically.
Well, it's going to be Eastern time tonight too.
Right. That's because the one last night was in Boston. Tonight it's in Detroit. why are the West, like at least in the West Coast games, it makes sense why they're starting late. I don't understand what we're doing. And I mean, I get it's for television and whatever, but the first 4 days of the tournament go just fine with games all day, during the day, whatever. Like maybe we could start them at like 4 o'clock.
You'd think.
I don't think that's a big ask.
Just glad. Thank goodness for the multi-view.
Got the multi-view, got the multi-TV setups. You know, we're rocking it. We have a lot of people with strong feelings about the video games. Yuri chimes in. How about GoldenEye? Yeah, GoldenEye would start some fights.
I didn't play that. I know what it is though.
Yeah, that was an incredible game. Honestly, in the conversation for best video game of all time is GoldenEye. And that's not just me. That's a consensus.
Okay.
GoldenEye is for
That's one thing that we agree on there.
Yeah,
Totally.
N64 GoldenEye is one of the best games of all time.
Shane and DB here for never agreeing with Ravi.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy. You guys just gang up on me all the time.
I think it's more your takes.
I mean, I think it's
But we're agreeing on the GoldenEye.
I take it personally is what I do. Amazing.
And where do you take it at?
Omaha, baby. Amazing Daniel has showed us the setup of some of his video games, Space Invaders. I think we got Galaga in there as well. A little bit of I think we got some Pac-Man. Have you ever seen those at like you go to Nebraska Furniture Mart and you get the little like arcade deals? Like mini.
I've seen those.
I really want the NBA Jam one.
You'd probably never leave the house.
Yeah, probably not. I'd have to do the show remotely.
NBA Jam has some addictive components.
Oh, I love NBA Jam.
He's on fire.
Used to go over to my cousin Danny's house, and Danny and Neil play a little. We go play some backyard basketball, and then we go play NBA Jam. Good times.
I want, where do you think he's been? Where do you think Chris has been already? Off work?
Go! Blue Jays!
I don't know any establishments where you can get libations this early.
Not sit inside, but you can go to any store.
They don't sell them this early, do they? Or is that just Sundays?
It's after 6.
Oh, okay, just Sundays. They don't sell it till noon.
I don't even know if that's a thing.
It used to be, right?
Fudge.
It used to be on Sundays. They didn't sell till noon. I don't know if it still is.
I think there's something just wrong about buying alcohol on Sundays. I don't know.
Well, I mean, how are we supposed
I don't know because that's
how else you supposed to take communion? You got to go get your wine.
Who's gonna crush my
grace? You know what?
He could have stopped at Casey's or Quick Trip. Or
let's get back to the phone.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe we'll have a little bit more hinged call here with our guy Wyatt. Wyatt, what's going on, bud? Wyatt, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, Wyatt. How we doing?
What's up?
So first, Damon, out of the way. Was there any Asian food that reminded you of me before we get things out of the way?
How about some Hunan chicken last night?
Oh, where's that from?
Rose Garden, maybe.
Oh my!
I mean, I'm Korean, but that's cool.
Wow. I'll never get it right unless you sit down and give me the tutorial.
You know what I'm saying?
I just wanted something that was really cheap and was all meat. Like I got no vegetables, and I didn't have to pay for it, so it was great. And $2 extra chicken.
Yeah.
So I basically I basically ate a whole chicken for $13.
There is a rumor that eventually that one of the national Korean barbecue chain places where you grill it at the table is supposed to become in Omaha at some point. But until it happens, we have to wait and see.
You still won't help me with my Bulgogi game, so I don't know if we're gonna still be talking by then.
Well, first you got to pronounce it right, but
Can you pronounce that for me, Wyatt?
bulgogi.
Bulgogi.
Okay, that's right.
There we go.
But well, even that. But see, my Korean friends probably tell me that I sound not Korean, and I'm saying that. But anyway,
that's all right. No, Asian Wyatt. Like I was at the doctor one time, and this dude, he's there drawing my blood, and he asked me what my name is or whatever, and he's I think he's Pakistani, and he tells me that I don't pronounce my own name right. He's like, he goes, oh, you must have been born here, and I was like, yeah, and he goes like, yeah, you say it Ravi, and he goes, it's supposed to be Ravi, and I was like, yeah, my dad's not born here, and he says Ravi, so I'm gonna go ahead and ride with that, bud. So I've been there, Wyatt.
Oh,
Yeah.
like? There are just these moments. I don't have any idea what's going on.
No, we're doing a radio show.
So
I know.
what do you got for me with the video games, Wyatt?
I mean, I know you probably got to stick to sports here at some point.
Not
but,
really, no.
No, my story for my group, it was Street Fighter 2 that caused some problems.
Yep.
I remember one time I was putting on my best friend. We're in his basement with some other people were playing. I was getting competitive, and I'm being a Richard, and I'm just talking, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, he has his hands around my throat. He didn't squeeze, but
Wow.
they were there, and then. And then I think another time, him and my other friend were playing, and they went to go somewhere. And his friend, our friend, went back inside. He's like, "Hey, what'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, I had to break the game in half."
Street Fighter 2.
We decided to kind of put a pause on that game for a while.
All right, so this is like really a thing. I didn't play against. I appreciate the call. Wyatt. I didn't until I got to college.
Yeah.
I didn't play video games with anybody else really other than like Coach Huffman, like my buddy Chris.
Yep.
He allegedly, he'll tell the story that he was going to choke me out
Yeah.
at my buddy David Bertley's house over Sega. We were playing Madden, I think.
Okay.
On Sega, but I don't think that's why the fight started. But that's what we were doing over there was playing the video game. So it typically didn't escalate. There were a couple of those games I couldn't win at. Like Coach Huff, he was really good at like track and field.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was pretty good at duck hunt. He had the consoles before I did because I can only remember us we had Atari and then we waited forever. And then I finally got a Nintendo.
So I didn't
have Sega.
I didn't have my own video game console until I was in college. So I was always going over to friends' houses and stuff. So GoldenEye was huge when I was a kid. Super Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, which basically you're just fighting as all the Mario characters. That got pretty contentious as well.
Who did I go? I went through a phase with Mortal Kombat with somebody. With some friends.
Yeah.
I don't remember what stretch that was.
NFL Blitz was a big deal when I was a kid. Played a ton of NFL Blitz. And then we kind of moved into the Xbox era. And we would go like Halo was a big deal when I was in high school. Those were kind of the main ones. I wasn't that good at Halo though, so I just had
really
fun with it.
So the only real games that I liked that weren't sports games, I can remember Contra.
Mm-hmm.
I like Zelda. Super Mario's.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was playing like RBI or even like the old bad sports games.
Oh, yeah.
Were the ones I had played.
I mean, I played a ton of NCAA football on Xbox and PlayStation. That was kind of my jam. And then the first like console I got in college, that's all I played was just NCAA football. I'll still mess around now. I've got an Xbox 360 still because I don't need new consoles for any reason. Although I might get one when they come out with the new NCAA game because it's like sort of a nostalgia thing.
Is that coming out on all the platforms?
I think so. I would imagine.
The players didn't end up taking the deal, did they?
Most of them did.
The $600?
Yeah, because they want to be in the game. Except Archie Manning. Archie Manning was like, "Nah, I'm cool."
God, that's cheap.
Yeah, but it's better than nothing. And you get to be in the game. They literally just want to be in the game.
All right.
The game being canceled was the one like big negative thing that I don't think anybody wanted from the Ed O'Bannon case. It was like
not the game.
It was the one side effect that we were like, oh no. It's like I want these guys to get paid, but Ed, can we reel this back a little bit, bud?
Back it down.
Coming up next, we got Mike Sautter from Hurrdat Sports here on Hurrdat Sports Radio and 590 ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities. Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio and 590 ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR in Lincoln. Shane, can you send Sautter a link here, bud?
You want to see yourself on stream, or you want people to see you on stream?
We just want to see Sautter on stream. We're live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. That's Mike Sautter.
I can't even hear myself
here on the Pillar Exterior stage.
I don't know.
Is that better?
Nope.
How's this?
A little better. There we go.
Check. 1, 2.
So he must be 3.
I ain't got no link.
Uno, dos, tres.
I sent it last night to you, but I'll send it again.
Yeah, Jerome.
Oh, is that on you? Is that on that on Sautter?
Where are you watching games today, buddy? Did you have to reintroduce yourself to your family? How'd
A
that
little
go?
bit. Yeah, I did.
Did they recognize you?
You're like, hi, cutie pie. His daddy's home.
They were.
I don't
Like,
even,
ah,
I don't
who's
even
this guy?
recognize what we're doing
I
here.
don't even know what this guy's doing.
I
Oh, there
bet
it
Leighton
is.
said something slick.
Nah, she's all right. Nah, yeah. I mean,
This time I sent it in teams.
I got it. I'm in there. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Appreciate it, little guy.
We might got surly Sautter today.
No,
Morning's good.
Yeah. Kid to daycare this morning, which is different. Little change. We switched it up.
Tag team.
Normally I'd
Hawk
take
and animal.
the kid to first grade instead of daycare. So just a little farther of a drive. I actually had to like brush my teeth to do that, you know.
May get
Put some
caught out.
clothes on. What?
You may get caught out, or
Yeah, I don't know. No, yeah, it was good. I'm happy to be home for a while. I'll say that. I'm over the whole traveling thing for the moment.
you got your write-ups all done and stuff with basketball. Did you do all your stats?
Stats.
Anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was college stuff mainly in the last little bit.
Do you like that as much, more, less?
Yeah, I like it. I really like it, actually.
Do you want to expound, or you just?
No, yeah, I like.
That's kind of. I mean, maybe it's my bad for asking.
Let me get some
not
coffee.
An open-ended.
I got my
question.
Lincoln cup, by the way.
Yeah,
because we're on in Lincoln right now.
We are in Lincoln, KFOR.
I love Lincoln.
Shout out to the convention.
Jeff,
Bureau.
good guy. Send me that. So repping that today. No, I like all things basketball. If people don't know that about me, very much so enjoy watching basketball and any level really at all. But yeah, this year was the first time I was all the way in on, covering college, right? So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and it's a little bit easier actually, to be honest. Like
because people
in
know
what
that they
sense?
should be accessible.
Right.
They make themselves accessible.
Right.
Yeah.
Statistics and stuff are easy because people
Just
aren't
part of the
trying to-
deal.
Yeah, people aren't, for some reason we still have people in high school that think that that there's an unfair advantage to share statistics to their opponent, which every other level of sports and the sport in particular, it's perfectly fine for college and NBA and whatever to share statistics publicly, and they do just fine. So I'll never understand that. And I would love a debate with someone. If someone disagrees with the fact that high school teams should be sharing their statistics publicly on the thing that the state association actually has
You mean like not
dollar
keeping
agreement.
statistics on max preps
Yes.
because people feel like it's an unfair advantage?
Correct. Yeah. Like I would love a debate or a conversation about
Do they
that.
think people aren't going to know who's good on their team if they don't
right
share
th-
stats?
like you don't share film or people don't in-person scout at all. None of that happens, right? So like that just absolutely never happens.
So if the numbers aren't on max preps, it's like, well, I guess we're just winging it.
Yeah, and I got an advantage because I'm not sharing them. No, like that's dumb. That's like the 1982 thinking. So
That is dumb.
Yeah, it's also annoying because there are people, and it happens in football too, like high school football in the state too. And
You
then
guys had an issue with that this
and
year,
then you
didn't
wonder why people.
I worked for a guy that didn't like it.
Yeah,
That
Frank didn't like it,
he
but
doesn't like stats.
but also if you asked him, he would give it to you.
Yeah.
Like, and so then he'd do it weekly, like on Mondays. I would get the email that
Right.
would have it, but also like I kind of need to know on Friday night or Saturday morning.
Yeah, I think for him it was probably more like scouting reports and stuff.
But you're not sharing film,
No, I know what you're saying.
right?
I definitely know what you're
Yeah.
Also, doesn't that work against your guys getting recruited a little bit?
100%.
Like, what's the cost reward here?
People wonder why people transfer to places that actually care about promoting their kids.
Interesting.
Just saying.
Wait, so we had gone 5 minutes.
I'm just, but is that not true?
I think promotion of kids is part of why people pick high schools. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
I also will say,
100%.
especially if you're not recruiting at the Division I level where things are a little bit different, if you're recruiting at a smaller college
Yeah,
level,
you want to just be able to go look up the stats real quick.
the
or something.
ability to be able to see someone's stats dramatically affected whether or not I was going to go after you.
Right. Or
Like,
go
unless
to
I
their
saw
game
somebody
or-
that makes sense.
Unless I saw somebody that I already was like, oh, I like this guy a lot. Okay, I can't see his stats. That's frustrating, but I'm still going to go because I saw something I like. If I'm just kind of scouring for things, if you don't have stats, like,
can't help you.
Yeah, it's an
hard to
automatic
find.
disqualifier. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't watch everybody.
Right.
Right? Like, that's not reasonable.
Hey, so
100%.
we got into this discussion earlier, Mike, and this is kind of in your wheelhouse because
Sweet.
you start with high school. I was talking about some of the smooth transitions guys coming out of the summit are making to Power 6 schools,
Yeah.
and I was like, it's kind of tongue in cheek, but kind of not. I was like, shoot, maybe the summit's better than I thought, right?
Grant Nelson had a pretty nice night last night.
Well, and he's just one of many, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. DeMarinis was teasing me. He's like, you still got traumatic stress disorder. So that's fresh on the brain. But we've just like seen it. And I think Kyle the third is a plug and play guy, right? Like he's wherever he goes, he's going to have impact. Frankie Fiddler is in high demand. Mayo is going to be in high demand. Those are just off the rip, right?
Mayo is very high demand.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Like,
hey, blue blood demand.
Yeah. Like,
I saw it.
Like,
a lot of Power 6 for a lot of those guys.
Like Zeke Mayo at Kansas sure does feel like a thing, like a fit, because then he's shooting.
So I was, and this was, I didn't necessarily. The discussion wasn't between myself and Ravi, so I didn't get a chance to hammer him. But I thought it was an interesting take, to say the least, that a lot of those guys get missed out due to being lazy. Because I don't think that's it. I think it's more lack of visibility.
DeMarinis put the lazy on me. I think there is, if you work harder, you can find those guys. But I hit back with it's an accessibility to being visible. Right? Like, if you're like, Grant Nelson's a great example. He's from Devils Lake, North Dakota.
Yeah,
where's the closest really good AAU team to Devils Lake, North Dakota?
Minneapolis.
That's a pretty long way.
Yeah.
So is he driving to and from Minneapolis all the time? That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if that's the situation you're in,
right,
then that's an accessibility issue. And yes, if coaches were really grinding and doing whatever, like, they probably could have found him anyway. But so that's where Matt DeMarinis threw the laziness thing at me. And I was like, I mean, if you want to put it like that, but there's, like, if you're in Aurora, Nebraska as Baylor Shireman, maybe it's a little easier to find you. Maybe they just missed.
His recruiting was interesting.
Baylor played on a pretty dang good AAU team.
Yes, he did.
That like had a bunch of eyeballs on them a lot, and he committed early.
Yep.
And
so I said he was a little different.
That one's a little.
Sure.
I get it, and Baylor's always gonna have a chip on his shoulder because that's just who he is. But at the same time, it's like he committed like in the spring, like before that senior year, spring, summer AAU stuff. He committed way early, and yes, South Dakota State was the only school to offer him. How about instead?
At the time,
yeah, yeah. How about instead of like hammer people for not noticing him, how about you give credit to South Dakota State that found
for
him?
Noticing him,
like,
or North
or whatever. Yeah,
North
Dakota State with Grant Nelson.
I get that. That sounds cool. But when it's only one, it's more of an indictment on everybody else.
Well, everyone else
than it is the good to SDSU, because SDSU is good. That's a really good quality program.
Why they win all the time.
You know, it's not like they're doing something out of the ordinary. I mean, it's just what they do.
And people knew. I mean, like, Omaha could have or whatever. Like they didn't offer him, and they knew who he was. Trust me.
So this kind of was birthed out of this whole philosophical recruiting thing
that we were having with Omaha,
with mid-majors. And it started with Omaha when Frankie hit the transfer portal. And we were talking about like the recruiting kind of ideology and where it could go if you want Omaha to be like a player with so many good local area talents. Because look at all the guys playing everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, and I brought up.
We're talking about miss. There's been a lot of misses.
You were pretty bothered by the fact that
I just don't know how you can sit there at Omaha and continue to watch guys from your city beat you in your league.
Yeah,
That's a tough pill for me to swallow.
A little tough.
If I'm the coach there, or if I'm part of that athletic department, or if I'm just a guy who wants basketball in our state to be good, which I am, by the way, I want Omaha to keep all the guys that are going other places in the Summit League and go win the Summit League with those guys.
How hard do you think it is, Jerome, to set a culture?
Whatever.
I've
been called way worse.
It's just habit. It's
just it's fine.
To set a culture where you're going to be a training ground.
It's hard because that's exactly what the Summit League and leagues like that have turned into. So
because in turn,
I compared it to JUCO.
Because in turn, don't they want to go get more ready-made guys? So they're not as willing to go through the development thing. So it seems like a catch-22.
Yeah, it's kind of like the minor leagues now. I mean, that's the best comparison you can make but they're not in your system, so it's not like the minor leagues because, like, you have storm chasers and those guys are kind of just waiting their time and developing and whatever, but they're not in the same system.
It's more like it's more like Moneyball, where the A's would develop people and then the Yankees would go buy them out.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what it is.
That's 100% what's happening.
The A's still won a lot of games when they were doing that.
Right.
Like, you can do it's harder. I get it. It's harder.
You just have to adjust.
But there's a way to do it and be successful.
What would you recommend?
Oof. Well, somehow there has to be some sort of regulation around the agents, quote, air quotes, using agents because not advisors, agents that are
guys that train kids that because I train you or I do train you, you get to use my facilities. So I think I should be.
I've got some ownership over it.
Yeah, or there has to be a little bit of of that, but there are like people that say they're actual real agents that you've just kind of never heard of that are pulling strings behind the back. Like, I mean, coaches would call me in January about people that are in the Summit League. Like
how would you be privy to that, sir?
Yeah, like it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if this guy were to do this, we might be, interested in him being a landing spot. And it's like, man, they're in the middle of their season right now. I'm not going to bother them with that.
Are you surprised that kind of that vibe that we've talked about for years with basketball has, and I won't say handlers, but I mean guys, right? That befriend good, promising young athletes. Are you surprised it's made its way into football as fast as it has?
Not necessarily because
of the birth of 7-on-7.
Yeah, because we have it. We're behind the times when it's 7-on-7, like
the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, state of Nebraska. Yeah. We I mean, it's been
late to the party.
It's been a 5, 6, 7 year deal, and that's been going on for years. Other places, yeah, like holy cow. And then Latcher's honors. Like
I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen faster, to be honest with you.
Like it's a little like
people see opportunity in kids,
trainers,
right? They see opportunity to advance themselves, whether it's hey, I trained this kid, now I get a better job, or hey,
but I think that's more ego though, because they're not getting a job, right?
No,
like,
but
no
they
one's
still
hire
think
them.
they are. At least from the guys I've met.
Yeah, no one's hiring them.
I understand no one is, but that doesn't stop them from thinking someone's going to hire them.
Or some guys just like the glad hand with the schools.
Yeah, and that's all.
Like,
just
they feel important.
Yeah, it's an ego thing. Yeah, 100%.
They feel like they have a sense of importance.
It's an ego thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So don't you think that because you kind of see it in like parental behavior too, do you think it's been expedited because of all the local success over the last handful of years?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what parents are. Why not my kid? Why don't, all of that.
And it doesn't always have to be a negative. I'm just saying, it's like, gosh, there's so many opportunities out there. Who can I get? So then they kind of, it's not desperate, but they're looking for people that can help get them where they want to be. So you're kind of
so they believe people that maybe don't have the actual true best interest and more interest for themselves.
So speaking of where people want to be, let's get down to brass tacks here. Where's Chucky Hepburn going to go?
he's not in the portal.
He's not.
Is he going to be in the portal?
I literally just talked to his
I will tell you, I don't.
Do you think he's going to be in the portal?
Oof. At the beginning of the week, I was like, no way. And now,
did Store change your mind a little?
Probably a little bit.
Mine too, a little.
Yeah, but he is the man there.
Yep.
And like they love him. The fan base loves him.
I mean,
Coaches
if we're
love
just
him.
putting two and two together, I mean, Frankie's not going there if Chucky's telling him he's leaving.
Right.
He's not visiting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, okay, here's the deal with that.
Visit or not visit.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're going to see your buddy.
Yeah.
You call it.
Yeah, it was. They were already going up there to hang out with him.
I understand.
And, like that was already planned.
and
then now, so Frankie and a group of friends
So
were going to see their friend just hang out in Madison for the weekend. And then when the staff at Wisconsin found that out, they were like, all right, well, let's just turn this into a thing. And they did. And hey, the only way that like those two go together would be out of Wisconsin.
I'm 100%
like the whole like those three with William Kyle.
I never understood that though.
The other option now Nebraska would do that.
Well, they could for sure do two.
Yeah, and they would probably fit.
Yeah.
So, but I think if the three of them are actually going to
because William Kyle III is there tomorrow or Monday.
Nebraska Monday. Yeah. Buzz Williams is at his house probably right now.
William Kyle's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on an in-home, and then Wake Forest is doing it in-home.
Watch Texas A&M, he seems like he would fit.
Yeah.
when I say plug and play, I mean plug and play.
I mean, am I crazy to say like if Kalkbrenner left Creighton, like he'd be a good fit at Creighton?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kalkbrenner's staying or going. I really don't.
I bet it's 50-50.
Yeah, I think there's a chance he's staying. But
and here's the thing, I think I can safely say this, and you'd agree. He's still only going to get better.
No, yeah, he's not even
William Kyle?
Yes.
And I'm just saying, where is a place that we've seen big men get aggressively better?
Like
listen, William Kyle's effective field goal efficiency rate was 94%. Yeah. That's incredible.
I'm just saying, if you want to be the best big man you can be, Creighton is the best option.
And his upside is
it's unreal,
believable.
He still can't shoot a free throw. So
hey, that's a skill he can work on.
No, I know that's what I'm saying.
We'll figure it out.
Like there's things like he needs to get better.
Yeah,
like he
100%.
Shots making a shot outside of 4 feet is probably that's a challenge.
But in the meantime,
pretty good at what he does.
In the meantime, he's
pretty good at what he does.
Freaking Dennis Rodman, right? Like that's what he is. Like shot blocker. Maybe even more above the rim. I mean, he's can catch lobs and stuff, but
he
looks runner, shot blocker,
he looks fantastic now.
Yeah, he looks great.
He has these muscles.
Yeah,
And when I saw him in Sioux Falls, I was like,
this is a tail end of the season at Omaha. I'm like, he looks fantastic.
Yeah. His body's
like just their bodies changing.
Mm-hmm.
I think is part of it, but the whole seamless transition to Power 6 schools has got me like, and 3 of the more coveted players in the portal are coming out of the Summit.
Yeah.
It's wild,
right?
Not wild.
And where were they before the Summit?
And there's good play. I know what you're saying.
Where were they before the Summit?
And
I'm just saying.
And there's good players available in the portal. You have Mashburn. Like there's a lot of.
Doug McDaniel's good, even though I wouldn't want to be his teammate. But Doug McDaniel's good.
Yeah, you've probably watched him for a while now, like in the summers too, right?
So bad. Yeah, like he's good, but good. I wouldn't want to be his teammate. I'm just saying.
Omaha couldn't have used any of those guys in their backyard.
Wait, we're gonna have this conversation about Jaden Jackson in a year or two too. So
we're
gonna
have this conversation about Jaden Jackson. We're gonna have this conversation about St. Thomas. I'm gonna have this conversation.
Yeah, St. Thomas is one. Watch out! Like I'm
gonna have this conversation.
St. Thomas has listen, like that's an under the radar like cat right now that he's got a lot.
I am going
of people coming out like big. Like,
no, I know.
I'm going to have this conversation about every damn guy that comes out of Omaha.
I'm going to say this about St. because we can't be disingenuous, right? We can't just fast forward to the good stuff. A lot of that a lot of the late emergence is on Saint deciding,
This
hey,
is
I
what
can
want to
put,
be.
yep,
Yeah.
I can put this behind me. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to go now. I've exhaled. Now I'm gonna go get it. It's not like,
I mean, he's talked about the mental
yeah,
health.
yeah.
Side of it.
I don't want to make it seem like people were just overlooking this guy. A lot of people just didn't know how much he wanted
to do,
or if he wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
Now he went and got his body right, went and got his mind right. For whatever the reason, he still looks like he's growing.
He's on like draft board stuff. Like
I'm just saying, if you're at the Summit level, right? You're at the Summit League level. I get that there are question marks around Saint. I can say, and you can ask Jacob, because I
know you've been on this for
I've loved
years.
Saint since he was in high school.
No, I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm a St. Thomas guy. But what I'm saying is, when you're at the Summit League level, you're not getting perfect prospects. You're going to have guys that are like, hey, this is a question mark I don't know about.
So
this is a question mark I don't know about.
So the problem is, this is what I'm asking you guys at the same time. And I still didn't get a great answer, maybe because it's hard. But if that's your philosophy, and you know that you're going to be a rent for somebody else to own guy later, those two worlds don't mix. You can't say to yourself, hey, you know what? There's some imperfections here. I'm going to need X amount of time to maybe work on this, this, and this. And then by the time you start to reap any sort of those benefits, those guys are out the door.
Best case scenario,
William Kyle.
That's the
William Kyle is that exact example
gig,
you said,
though.
Damon.
That's the hardest thing about
hard,
it.
but that's the gig. Is because listen, at the Summit League level, at the D2 level, at the NAI level, there's no perfect prospects. There is, hey, I like this guy, but it's can you deal with whatever the but is, okay? And then, yes, best case scenario, if the but doesn't matter, then you get him for 3 years tops. You get him for one developmental year. You get him for one pretty good year, and then you get him for 1 year that sends him off to a high major. That's the best case scenario, and you have to be okay with that. Otherwise, you're probably not going to win very much.
I don't know, like here's something. Northern Colorado has bought into that the last 2 years of knowing that, hey, this is a pit stop, and they've been actually pretty good.
So what?
What
did he just say that I said you had to do that?
You have to have a mental.
You have to say it out loud.
It's hard.
I am saying it out loud.
It's super hard.
School has to say it out
and
loud.
I'm saying it out loud to Omaha.
But remember, the caveat that I talked about last week when we started this was you have to have a couple of those claim to fames just to go with the words that you're saying.
Right.
Hey, look, we did it with. Hey, look, we
come
did
here.
it.
We can get you to where you want to
Then
go.
you can start to say it out loud.
Everybody starts at zero at some point.
You have to buy into that's who you are. Like
And
South Dakota State kind of bought into like knowing, hey, we might,
we might lose some of these guys.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's better for us long term.
Right.
Because then we get the better versions of these guys that we already got.
Yeah, coming out of high school. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Town where a
I
lot of
can
these guys
sit
are.
here again if you need me to. I ain't got nothing.
Town where a lot of these guys are from could do that.
That'll
I'm just
work.
saying. We're back here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, KFOR in Lincoln, live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, live on the Pillar Exteriors stage. A reminder here, we had a few people call in. They weren't going to be able to make the game tomorrow, so make sure you give Shano a call if you're going to be in town tomorrow.
Shano!
888-638-4876 to get those Supernovas tickets. We had some people miss out because they're just not going to be around. So make sure you give Shano a call, 888-638-4876, to get a 4-pack of tickets to Omaha Supernovas tomorrow night. Reminder, our friends at Warhorse Sportsbook, Warhorse Casino, you got your prop card challenge. You've gotten your entries in. All you have to do now is validate those entries for the prop card challenge and make your picks starting April 1st. Out of 25 prop questions, if you get 18 correct or more, you're eligible to win free cash and free prizes. $100,000 prop card challenge is for the semifinal and final games of the tournament. So you'll be able to start making those picks on April 1st when we know who is in the last 4 of the tournament. That's Warhorse Casino. Go to warhorsecasino.com for a full list of details and house rules. Warhorse Sportsbook, no bets, no glory. Michael Jerome Sautter staying with us through another segment here.
Be honest,
I don't even know where that came from
because it's how you
just,
act.
it just happened.
You act like a Jerome.
I don't even know what that means.
I stuck with that.
What does that mean?
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's all in my head.
Yeah, I can think
With
about
arms
it
wide
over
open.
and over.
Oh, don't do that.
Um,
Creed's terrible. I don't know why
best
we
band
got
ever.
I was dear baby Jesus.
I
was gonna F-bomb right there.
Don't do that. Sautter,
just like,
would you
just bleep it out? It's fine.
Would you?
You're not gonna get fired, I don't think.
Would maybe? Would you F-bomb if your New York Jetropolitans draft Brock Bowers?
Maybe, because I'm resigned myself to the fact that we need a tackle, even though we got Tyron Smith. It's a pretty good tackle.
You did good work with your offense.
Yeah, the offensive line, Morgan Moses. Like, we got the 2 Baltimore guys. Like, what's Baltimore gonna do for offensive line?
I don't know, but
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson's pretty good.
I'm not that guy though.
Oh, really?
Right? You know why?
Just run the option.
Because they run
like
they run the ball anyway.
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't
not
matter.
like so. What difference does
Gus
it make who the guy is?
Hey, Gus Edwards can run the ball.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whoever can run.
Like, that's my philosophy. It's not like they're all of a sudden gonna be good at running the ball.
Yeah, they were
now.
already good at running.
They're already good at running the
now
ball.
they might.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
might
think
be
you think you think they're going to be exponentially better where
exponentially no,
where they win in the playoffs?
Marginally maybe, but I don't know if that makes the difference.
I don't know who's gonna block for him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's the problem.
I just
took
don't-
we
I
took their 2
It
best
didn't
offensive
move my
linemen.
needle. I'm like, they already tote the rock.
But if the Jets take Brock Bowers, I'll be like, oh, all right.
Are you?
No, I won't be like, yes. I mean, I'll be happy because he's
really
a good
good.
player.
Really good.
outside
But
of
it's
a
like-
quarterback or a wide receiver, because you can have too many of those, especially ones.
Mhm.
Are you a best available or a needs guy?
At 10, where the Jets are going to draft.
In general.
Oh.
General draft philosophy.
Well, the Jets normally draft in the top 5, so that's been need.
That's the bad thing about Pittsburgh being middle of
Yeah.
the pack. That's
Yeah.
why they're middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's because you're always drafting in the
Perpetuating
middle.
cycle.
Hey, we've drafted in the top 10 for my whole life,
Still very
and
bad.
and still very
bad.
in not in the middle.
Might be a Woody thing.
We also took Will
Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, don't.
Curtis and Leon.
Will McDonald better turn out. That's
Wow.
all I know. Will McDonald
So,
needs to turn out.
Are
first.
you a best available or
best available?
Not
Is,
even answer the question.
best available is what I would always go with if I am not, if I'm not drafting in the top 7, 8. If I'm like 9 through the end of the first round, I'm going best available.
I would probably put left tackle in that as well. Because
Yeah.
if you have a
Oh, yeah.
cornerstone left tackle, I
That's
think you
unreal.
could pass on a franchise cornerstone
Yeah.
left tackle.
You don't want to move that guy to the other side? Have 2 really good tackles?
That guy probably doesn't want to move to the other
Yeah,
side.
that's the problem.
I get that he doesn't want to.
because the money's a lot
It doesn't.
different.
I mean, you got to.
If you draft him in the same spot, you're paying him no matter what.
Yeah, it's true.
Now his net contract, I don't know what it looks like, but if you draft him at 9, whether he plays left tackle for you or right tackle for you, he gets the same amount of money.
But that's with the Jets this year. They did very well in free agency. A lot of in Tyron Smith's injured a lot, and he's old, but he's Hall of Famer. And
yeah, because
so it's you. Yeah, I would draft one of the tackles that will be available.
It's because you
Frankly,
want to tackle, or
yeah.
you wouldn't take X at X position.
Like, do you think 10 is too high to draft Bowers?
A little bit, yeah.
No, why?
I don't know. Because I know the tackles that'll be available,
See,
and I want to tackle.
Well,
But do you think the tackles available are better football players than Brock Bowers?
I don't understand
No,
that.
they're not. They're
philosophy
not
with
better
Bowers.
football players than Brock Bowers.
'Cause
Brock Bowers.
I've heard this.
Yeah, well, and Michael was saying a little bit yesterday.
I've heard this.
Like
And
Brock
he's not
Bowers is
alone.
Right,
Is, is Brock Bowers a better football player than J.J. McCarthy? Yes.
This is my philosophy.
Is he a better football player?
That's why I said
than
quarterbacks
Jaden
and
Daniels?
probably
Yes.
wide receivers excluded.
Certainly quarterbacks.
Boy, do you want a number one? Do you want a receiver a number 1 back-to-back years?
That's hard.
I mean, having 2 really good receivers is helpful.
Yeah, tell me about a Jets fan over here.
Okay.
We have one.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
like if you've got 3 really good receivers already, then the fourth.
That's one I would put in a similar vein. But let me tell you, this is my philosophy. Because I keep hearing about this value of where a pick is. You can't take player blank at this position. You can't take a guard first. Let's just use guard. You can't take a guard
I'd
first.
love to take a guard
Listen,
first. All the time.
this
all
is
day.
my philosophy, and maybe I'm way off, so I'm listening. But if I get a guard, the slots, it's slotted anyway.
Yeah, the
So if you're
pay doesn't
thinking,
matter. Yeah.
Gosh, I can't pay a guard.
It doesn't matter.
$25 million, but this is his rookie salary. What difference does it make if that's your guy?
If
because
you're paying him $9 million
because
versus
you're
$6
still
million
paying a top tier guard less money
than the
than
top tier
the
rate.
league average.
Yeah.
So if
Because
I
the
go
top guard in the league makes about $25 million a year. I looked it up yesterday. So if you're paying him $9 million as the number one pick, that's
you're
a deal.
winning.
If he's good, assuming he's good,
Bigger crapshoot. Quarterbacks or offensive linemen?
definitely quarterbacks.
Okay.
Hey, I know this. When Quentin Nelson was coming out in the draft,
So let's take Brock
I was
Bowers.
like, give me that guy all day. And
So
he's turned out to
He
be
is
pretty
shutting
damn
out
good.
our cords.
Do you?
Sorry.
So let's
Let's take Brock Bowers. Do you have more confidence that Brock Bowers will have a good NFL career more so than
It's not
JJ
that.
McCarthy.
It's not that.
What?
The question you got to ask yourself is, will they get to their second contract with me?
with
Because-
the team that drafts him?
Yes.
So with the team that drafts him,
Let's-
do you think Brock Bowers? Let's say the Jets draft him. Let's say Brock Bowers goes to the Jets at number 10. Do you have more confidence that he will make it to his second contract with the Jets, or do you have more confidence that let's say the Vikings trade up to get JJ McCarthy at 4, that he gets to his second?
Brock Bowers.
100%. Right.
So you take. So I don't get
just take him?
you wouldn't take him there because
We
if you
also
but-
have history with first round tight ends.
I
and
get
I'm
you.
not
I'm
going to
just
say the
saying.
one that went
I'm
to
just saying.
Nebraska, but
Generally
didn't
speaking, we'll
work
use
out.
Brock Bowers, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm a general manager and an owner, and I'm getting a guy that I think can make it to his second contract, and I'm paying him significantly less than the league average,
Do it.
I'm winning.
right.
Why do we only do that with quarterbacks? Right. They only think about the first contract value with quarterbacks.
Like I don't understand why more people don't talk about that out loud. But they always thought, well, you can't take a corner one. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
you can. We
Fran-
did.
market
We-
franchise cornerbacks
Are-
get paid a ton of money. So if I can get a guy for 3.5 years on the cheap and
Do
he
it.
changes the way that I
Yeah.
can play, I'm saving
did-
money for 3 years.
21 million quarterback.
We did like with the Jets.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I always go back to Jets because that's what I just really
maybe I
focus
could
on.
completely
But
be missing
Sauce
something. I don't
Gardner has been pretty damn good. He's been a Pro Bowler his first 2 years, and we drafted him third.
Yeah, he's being paid well under what
What
the
they're going to
league
have to
average
pay
for
him
corners.
a year from now. They're going to have to
But
pay that
but
guy.
the beautiful thing
to
is
keep
we,
him.
we only do that with quarterback salaries.
The number one-
we got the quarterback on a rookie salary. Doesn't
The number one
Yeah.
pick makes about $7.5 million a year.
towards the cap.
Yeah.
Not
You
including
get the
guaranteed-
signing bonus and whatever.
Yeah, not the guaranteed.
But the
money.
actual salary, the money that counts against your cap, about $7.5 million a year.
I just
So
Which-
that's good. That's good positional
and
value.
that's why if you can land a quarterback that early,
Right, but look at what we're
maybe
seeing.
That's
I'm
why
missing the
you-
analytics of
But
it
that's-
fiscally. But a rookie contract is a rookie contract.
because the
There's some-
second
there's some places-
contract for a quarterback is $30 million versus 7
or 21 for a
or
corner.
whatever.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
So
that's why
there's
if
a
you can
big-
get your guy,
There's a bigger gap for some of those guys, but like, listen, as if it's not a running back where we saw that value is 8 to 10, just about every other high-end position, maybe middle linebackers don't make a ton either. But if you're a pass rusher, if you're a tackle, if you're a corner, if you're a tight end, if you're a wide receiver, I mean,
I see your
best wide
comment,
receivers
Ryan.
are making
I don't
25,
like it,
$30
though.
million a year now.
What happened?
comment. Ryan said Jets fans need to worry about their quarterback getting to the second half of the first game. I see you.
Or the
I
second
see
series,
that.
or the second series even.
All right.
We've got Matt Vrzal coming up next
right.
to wrap up the week
I'm sorry.
on Hurrdat Sports Radio. We're wrapping up the show here on Hurrdat Sports Radio, AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, and KFOR in Lincoln. We are live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as from the Pillar Exterior Stage. Joining us now is Matt Vrzal, former Husker and owner of Paisans Pizzeria. Verz, what's going on?
Boys, I am trying to figure out where the baseball stadium is on the northwestern campus.
Oh, good luck.
Because our beloved Nebraska Cornhuskers play the Wildcats, and I will be in attendance of that game and the Chicago Cubs home opener on Monday.
Oh yeah, you're doing
So I didn't know. Okay, so that's why your text didn't make sense. Because I knew that they were in Texas. So I didn't know if you were staying the week of next week or you were just going to. I didn't know you were hanging out through this weekend when you said, hey, I can do 2 segments. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So you're.
No,
that's kind of
that
cool,
doesn't
though,
make
going.
sense at all.
Hey, isn't Evanston, though? Like that campus is pretty, isn't it?
I love that place.
Never been.
Oh, you're not there yet.
No. I leave bright and early tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Oh, so when you say you're looking, you like to map it all out.
Well, I don't ride the train north often, and I really don't ride it south ever. So we stay. There's a spot there that says "White boy get off," and the white boy gets off.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Evanston's super easy verse.
Oh my god! I gotta go.
Oh,
Hey, that's just factual. There was a Chicago rapper that said that the other day. I was looking through the X, and he was like, the interviewer said, "What do you recommend for people coming to tour Chicago?" He goes, "Stay north." He goes, "That's not a promise. That's a threat." And I was like, "Oh, okay, duly noted."
So
no, I've gotten myself into some pinches there, and I've talked my way out of a couple situations there on the old annual home opener trip.
So are you meeting the usual suspects?
Yeah, man, but we got some of the OGs are coming back, which is awesome. Al Moore, my guy Al Moore is coming in, and I haven't seen Al in 3-4 years. His son Tyson's flying in from the ATL, so I haven't seen Ty in a minute. And then we got a son coming on the trip. So Mike Youth's son, Will the Thrill, will be in attendance. So he may see Dad in rare form. I don't know if he's seen Dad in this shape. So it's gonna be. We got a little bit of a changing of the guard here. So now me and Ty are gonna have to take over this trip here soon. So we're gonna have to take some notes and pay attention and make sure we don't screw it up.
Hey, did you like the way the start that Steele got off to last night? You had to kind of like that, right?
Yeah, until the part where you fielded a ground ball and you probably tore your hamstring off the bone. Yeah, that was great.
It's not great.
No, it was good. He'll fight. I mean, he just battles. Like, he's probably not the most talented pitcher. He has talent, of course. He's in the major leagues, but he just grinds. I mean, he goes. So it's unfortunate to see him get hurt, but I did want him to put one in the ear of that Texas right fielder. He's not really my style of player, but.
Hey, let me ask you something about Coach Rule said yesterday. You know, he named the 3 competitive teams, and you know, he's talking about breeding competition. How similar, or maybe you need to see it, but how similar concept do you think that is of like when we would split up into our stations? It wasn't necessarily competitive amongst the next group, but it was competitive offense, defense. Do you see any similarities in that?
Yeah, I get it. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, we got to be this and that and the other, and we're going to get you guys in a team. We're going to do that." It's cool. It's the way it goes now. It builds camaraderie and all that stuff. I don't know what the locker room is like because some of the greatest moments of my life were sitting in a locker room and being good with numbers and picking up the games of like hearts and spades and dominoes really quickly. And then kind of the same deal. And I still get it today. Tony Vian will not invite me to play dominoes, which is BS. I was like, you need to lighten that thing up in there, bud. Like, you're looking bad in this because you ain't got no whiteys in there. So that's kind of mean.
He's still mad at
Robbie. Tony,
he's still mad at Ravi that he took his money in cards.
Tony gets real like defensive. You know, Tony doesn't want to upset nobody. But it was great. It's a great thing, and if that's how they're building team, build team. I don't care how you do it, just do it. Because much as it was a great week for me on X, John Harbaugh just straight out came up and said, "We can win without you being the offensive lineman. You can't win without us. So good luck with all the little cutesy that you do. If we ain't right, you ain't winning." And then my guy Kendrick Perkins on the show that Damon hates because he's just a hater on the Pat McAfee show said all the dogs in the NBA played football. So all you little skinnies out there like, no, I don't want to play football. I can't do that. I'm a basketball player. I'm going to sit out the threes, shoot it. No, son. You want to go on, you come to the man's game. You come play, and you'll get better. Because the best that's ever played that game played it.
So you're going to get Brock Scholl to play tight end next year?
He could benefit from it.
I like him.
Ain't no doubt about that. I said that for 3 years.
I kind of have an irrational man crush on somebody that's so much younger than me, but he is a tough kid.
He is tough.
Go ahead, Matty.
He is. I like Brock a lot. Brock's a good kid.
He's a good, yeah.
And Brock will snap too. Like, he likes to run a little bit. They were kind of messing with McMean one day. Slick Willie was getting messed with, and I kind of barked at him, and he snapped. Like, he snapped too. And was like, "I apologize, Mr. McMean. I was just having some fun, and this old over here does not want me to have fun, so I apologize for that sincerely." But no, Brock's a good kid. He works hard, and he works at his craft. There's just some things that will translate over well for him, and I love kids that play them all. I really do. I love the coaches that don't downgrade the kid for playing them all, because success will breed success. If you play basketball and you win a championship, then you roll right into baseball, and in a couple weeks, then you're playing great. I think that's great for the team, because anytime you can bring winners around, it is contagious. It really is.
Hey, speaking of which, Coach Day, what's he off to, like a 7-1 start now? I saw where Jace picked up a win the other day, and I think Scott pushed their record to 7-1, maybe 8-1.
I think it's 7. Unfortunately, there's going to be a big one on Tuesday, but Mother Nature said no, we ain't doing that.
I was going to that game.
But they were going to go. They were going to roll with Millard West, and that's going to be. Dave's done some good things. He's got the way he wants to do it, and he brings it in, and they practice the way they practice, and it's working, and it's great, and everything new is always better, right? So they're loving it, and it's going well, and I hope they continue it on, because I will go sit on my little stoop over there and watch some baseball, whatever I can.
He brings some college experience, competitiveness.
7-1.
He is. He doesn't mess.
Yeah.
He likes things a certain way. He's got a pretty good track record.
What a shocker! Like a coach that coaches hard, and the kids respond, and you win. Like, what a novel concept that has stood the test of time.
You don't think they need to be a little more coddled first?
You don't think Hurley coaches hard? By the way, I got a future on them. Oh, sorry to see your Tar Heels went down, Damon. Sorry about that.
It's breaking you up inside, isn't it, Matt?
Maybe best $100 I ever lost because you didn't text me back.
Well, you made enough money on 21, didn't you?
Yeah, that was a good bet by me. I'm not gonna lie.
This is the
It got surrounded by every other ball the game before, and then it got played, and it won.
So about 5. This is like probably 8. It's at night. It's this dark. And he texts me, he goes, "I'm about to play your number. I like 21.
Nope.
I like 21.
Tell him what it said.
I like 21.
No. Tell him what it said. Don't give him the bits and pieces.
The text?
It said, I put 100 on 21.
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
While I was on my break, I was not working.
Oh, you mean oh.
And I was like, man, you are a trip. And he's just like, he screenshot me the winner. I was like, wow. How does that happen? You don't even like me. Why would you use my number?
No, I like you. You like to pull this narrative that we don't like each other.
No,
we are probably the two best friends that anyone ever had.
I did wear your
Ebony
t-shirt
and Ivory.
I did wear your t-shirt.
So good, didn't it?
That's
so good, didn't it?
I like the material.
Yeah.
You just gonna skip over what I said right there?
Yep.
Okay.
Because
we could be Ebony and Ivory.
No,
yeah.
Hey, at some point you got to go over to the south side.
No. I've been there. I've been there, and I don't get scared often.
He's just not going back.
And that tongue was moving. Like I was defending. I asked. I was like, "Hey, do you guys know Clinton Shouts?" Nope, we sure don't. And I was like, "Time for me to go."
I think that might only work in Omaha verse.
Gonna get in trouble.
I don't know. That baby's got range. I'll tell you that. That baby, you go into Desmonez and they know him.
Hey, listen, real quick. How'd you prep your liver?
Just get a couple warm up rounds in, then nipping back a few.
Okay.
Just got to re-wet it. It knows what to do.
Muscle memory.
Are we talking on Monday or what?
Yeah. We always talk to you on opening day, so we got to do that.
Well, I texted you and you never confirmed.
Because
so
I just told you I was confused.
Man, you are a piece of work.
Yeah, you love
You're,
me.
you're lucky I love you.
Yeah, appreciate
And
it.
Ivory.
Be safe, Matt.
Have a good weekend. Don't go
Bye.
south, bud. That's Matt Vrzal. That's the show.